The 50 Overs project runs some events that allow people to get active, get out of their homes and to meet new people and come down and watch the cricket. Kent Cricket Community Trust captains Phil Gallagher and Ben Roddy joined a walking cricket session to learn more about walking cricket. It's cricket at a slow pace and it's fun, and it's for people who are looking to get active and to enjoy some time and to make some new friends and to get out the house.
the league's so strong at the moment. So we're taking each game as it comes, and hopefully we get another win today.
And you've been in action again since then, 3 days ago, another convincing win.
Yep. Where were we? Oh, we're at Lords. Yeah, they're coming thick and fast at the moment. But yeah, we're taking each game as it comes, and we've got a big squad of players, and everyone's stood up so far.
You have plenty of different home grounds to play. Obviously, Beckenham is the main place. Oval last week, Canterbury today. Do you enjoy the variety of it?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously cover Kent and Surrey, so this is definitely one of our home venues. We don't get to play here much, but when we do, we always enjoy it here.
What's the team news for today?
So Tash Farrant is back.
Great stuff. Many thanks to Bryony Smith, captain of the South East Stars. Let's grab a word now with Eve Jones of the Central Sparks. What were you going to do, Eve?
Yeah, we're going to have a bat as well, but yeah, not too fussed about having a bowl.
No, you were in action just yesterday afternoon up at Birmingham, so a very quick turnaround for you.
Yeah, we played yesterday morning and then got the bus down yesterday afternoon, so yeah, good travel day and yeah, ready to go again today.
Would it be fair to say it's been a mixed campaign so far, 3 wins from the 6 games?
Yeah, I'd say so. We had a great start to the comp, started 3 from 3 and then fortunately been the wrong end of results the last 3 games, but looking to turn that around today.
Well, you know you've got an informed opponent here today, you're going to have to be at your best. The Stars are unbeaten.
Yeah, they're a good side, but I think obviously we've got a great squad as well and we back ourselves to go out there and do the job today.
The way the table lies, you're still in quite a good spot to get to that finals day, which is looming large on the horizon now.
Yeah, we're in a great position and I think a couple more wins and we want to try and make sure that we secure that top 4 position.
And your team news for today?
Yeah, got one change today. Amy Jones is out and Amy Campbell is in.
Great stuff. Thanks for joining us, Eve. That is the news from the toss. We're underway at 11 o'clock.
Play your part.
Raise the game.
Call it out. Here's what you can do to make a cultural change at Kent Cricket. To call out any discriminatory behaviour, you can report it by texting 88440. Report it to a steward or a member of Kent Cricket staff, or email equality@kentcricket.co.uk. Discriminatory behaviour in any form will not be tolerated, and we encourage you all to call it out. Play your part.
All the fun and all the games, they all start here with All Stars Cricket. Skills, friendships, smiles, dreams, it all happens here. Every session is all-out action. All invited, even mum and dad. That, ball, catch, go. All stars and all stars.
I've been on a 20-year journey. I know the travel hassles to avoid, so I can stay totally focused. I've had my setbacks over the years, but now it's time to face the biggest challenge of my life. And I'm ready.
Holiday Extras and Sam Sills, a partnership beyond the ordinary, racing towards success.
We all want to leave a lasting impression, so we pile on the pressure. Our primary mission is for you to fulfill your ambition, work towards your true purpose. See, a lasting impression can be easy to achieve. All it takes is to reimagine what it means to succeed. And with a little support and the guidance you need, we can work towards a brighter future together.
We're first in the UK for graduates in employment, and your university experience will be full of firsts too. Whatever they are, at Canterbury Christ Church University, you'll be perfectly placed for success. Join us at the beating heart of opportunity.
And a very good morning to you. Welcome along to the Spitfire Ground, St Lawrence. We are in East Kent. Last time out for the home South East Stars fixture. We were up at the Kia Oval. Today we make our way to East Kent, and we're very much looking forward to watching the Stars. A reminder that victory today, and it would be qualification in the Charlotte Edwards Cup for finals day. So lots to play for, and taking on a team, Central Sparks, who have been a mixed bag so far this season. The news is that South East Stars have won the toss and will have first use of the wicket, and the Stars line up with one change. Bryony Smith, Sophia Dunkley, Paige Schofield, Phoebe Franklin, Tash Farrant, Kalia Moore, Chloe Hill, Rihanna McDonald-Gay, Alexa Stonehouse, Danny Gregory, Tilly Courtine-Coleman, and we'll go over the Sparks team very shortly. But Michael McCann is alongside, and Michael, you have to say this is a massive, massive game. They've been so good in this competition. Had it not been for the rain at the county ground in Beckenham, they would have already qualified. It gives them the perfect opportunity against the Sparks side, who have very much been hit and miss.
Very good morning to you wherever you are across the world. We could see a lot decided today in the Charlotte Edwards Cup. The Blaze and South East Stars both still unbeaten, and as you alluded to, Jamie, South East Stars last Monday at Beckenham had Western Storm 38-3 at the end of the power play and in a lot of trouble. So there was every chance that had rain not come in, the Stars might be up there with Blaze in terms of having 6 wins from 6 rather than 5 wins plus a washout. But the equation for both of those teams is effectively the same today. A win by 4 points or 5, you get that bonus point if your run rate is 1.25 times greater than your opponent's, would be enough to take them through. Even just a 4-pointer would do it. The Blaze face the Northern Diamonds in Leeds, but obviously our main focus is here at Canterbury, where the South East Stars face the Central Sparks, who have had a topsy-turvy campaign, 3 wins in a row and then 3 defeats in a row, including that narrow loss by 13 runs yesterday in Birmingham against the Northern Diamonds, which leaves them needing to re-find a bit of form if they are to secure their finals day spot. But by the end of today, there is every chance that 2 of those 4 finalists could be decided if we see a South East Stars win here and a victory for Blaze elsewhere.
Well, fingers firmly crossed that will be the case. A reminder, this is a double header. Kent play Middlesex at 3:30 later today. They've got on very well so far in the competition, and Daniel Bell-Drummond will be hoping his side can continue that good start to the season. But principally, we're focusing on what's happening here. South East Stars, of course, beating Sunrisers by 6 wickets last time out, and the Sparks, with those 3 wins and 3 defeats so far, they lost last time out to their last opponents. They were in action yesterday, would you believe? So it's been a close turnaround, not difficult for, or very difficult for them in terms of making their way here. They line up as follows with one change. Davina Perrin, Amy Campbell, Abby Freeborn will keep wicket. Eve Jones, of course, the captain. Katie George, Courtney Webb, Karis Pavley, Emily Arlott, Georgia Davis, Grace Potts and Hannah Baker. Michael, I guess the real positive so far this season has been the players putting up their hands for Bryony Smith and her team, because you're always looking for big match players to put in performances, and they've seen that, haven't they, by and large? It shows in terms of the results that they've been able to put on the board. So many players have contributed positively.
Yeah, caught up with Emma Calvert, head honcho, not the technical term, but director of regional cricket for the South East Stars pre-match. And one of the things she was saying is the satisfaction of the consistency across both formats. 4 wins from 6 in the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Trophy. They sit 1 point off Vipers at the top. There was 4 teams that managed 4 wins from 6 in the 50-over stuff. But the only side that have really consistently been excellent across both competitions is the South East Stars, with 5 wins and a washout in the T20. So overall, you're looking at a picture of 9 wins thus far in the summer, 2 losses and a washout, and nobody else can boast a record quite that good. Blaze have managed 8 wins and have also played a completed match more. They haven't had a washout yet. So across the summer, it's a squad that's coming together very well for the South East Stars. Things are shaping up promisingly. They were expecting to challenge in both competitions, and so it's proving. Of course, it is an expanded T20 finals day this season. Last year there was the eliminator that saw Vipers beat Thunder before Vipers went on to beat Blaze in the final, and top spot got you an automatic place in the final. That has changed this season. This season it's first versus fourth and second versus third at Derby in just under 2 weeks' time, 13 days' time, 1v4, 2v3, and then the final. So an expansion of an extra spot at finals day. And the change of that also means that, unlike last season where winning the group stage would get you automatic passage into the final, it simply gets you a semi-final spot against the team that finished fourth.
Well, we're looking all around this very traditional ground here. We can see the Colin Cowdrey stand, we can see the Frank Woolley stand and the Leslie Ames stand away to our left-hand side. Also plenty of young cricketers and stars of the future, hopefully just getting ready to guide the players out onto the field of play, and very much hoping that we're going to see a good game of cricket. The good news is that the weather is set fair. We've got plenty of fluffy clouds, but the good news is plenty of blue sky as well, and a little bit of breeze, I suppose you would say. And the positive with that is that it keeps those conditions maybe a bit cooler, which is good for some of those fans who you can see, some supporters who've made their way from various parts of the world to make sure that they watch. And I had a chat to an Australian, would you believe, just walking around, who's over here for the English summer and very much hoping that he will be able to see plenty of cricket. He started positively, he's watched 3 or 4 games, he said, so far, and he's very much looking forward to watching this game at the Spitfire Ground, St Lawrence, where the 2 umpires are making their way out to the middle, Julia Jarvis and James Treadwell, a man who knows this ground well, played for Kent and England, of course, with distinction, certainly with Kent for a number of years, and someone who will know these conditions very, very nicely. The referee is Peter Such, another former England international. And here come the 2 South East Stars openers. They've been so good in this competition so far, Bryony Smith and Sophia Dunkley, and they'll very much be hoping that they can continue. Sparks are going to go into a little pre-match huddle, and your commentary for the first 5 overs, I should say, Jamie Reid handing over to Michael McCann.
Thank you very much, Jamie. And a very warm welcome to you. We are up into about 16 degrees, and there's hopes that we might reach 18, which, by this positively poor English summer so far, feels quite balmy. And for once, we have a day of cricket where there is no real threat of rain intervening, and a great opportunity for the South East Stars to seal their spot at Charlotte Edwards Cup Finals Day with plenty of room to spare. They would qualify with 3 games in the tank. Worth mentioning, both teams wanted to win the toss and bat first, but of course it was the coin that came down in favour of the South East Stars. It's quite an invitingly short boundary on our side of the ground. We are at a wide, long-on position from where Bryony Smith is taking guard. I imagine we might be getting a little bit peppered in the commentary box up here, in truth, but we shall see. Elsewhere, Southern Vipers underway against Western Storm, 48 for 2 of 7, the Vipers thus far, and getting underway right now across the country. Thunder versus Sunrisers at Blackpool, Blaze versus Diamonds in Leeds, and Stars versus Sparks here at Canterbury. Bryony Smith facing up to the first ball of the contest, and just guides it out to Arlott at long on for single. Interesting chatting to a few around the ground. The feeling is that you're going to want at least 160 on this, with a short boundary on one side. Nice bit of flight on that, straight at cover. Interesting use of leg spin up front here from Sparks, a side that have often this season been known for a very impressive seam attack that has caused a lot of damage on some tricky early season pitches. Swipe and a miss. Lovely bowling that. Something for Dunkley to think about. He's having a stellar season so far. Made a nice cameo at Lord's on Thursday. 24 of 14 really helped put a dent in that modest target of 117. Sounds good off the middle with Dunkley's bat. Again out to long on. Easy single.
Yeah, maybe low down the bat. I think he just had to dig out. It was up to the bat, wasn't it, to Dunkley. Just jammed down on it, pushed it down to the fielder.
Slightly miscued and dropped at extra cover. That is the life of Bryony Smith, a player that you can't really afford to be giving a second chance to, and that is exactly what Central Sparks have done. Jones with the error.
Yeah, the captain putting it down.
And Smith just taking a moment to recompose herself with a block to finish a very good first over, which concedes just 2. Lovely start for Sparks. It should, though, have been a wicket-taking over for Hannah Baker. You have to feel for her.
You really do feel for her, yeah, because she's bowled a good set there in that first, and when you get an opportunity to pick up a wicket, a priced scalp of Bryony Smith, you've got to make sure you do the business, and unfortunately it wasn't a difficult opportunity, was it? So it is a big life for Smith. Just the leading edge, hit it up into the air. Maybe the ball was swirling around. We'll give a little bit of the benefit to Eve Jones, but a big opportunity put down, and that could be massive in the context of this game.
Uncharacteristic, I think, is the best way of summing it up. Back of a length, just nibbled away by Dunkley for a well-judged quick single. Freeborn back behind the stumps as part of a slightly rejigged Central Sparks side. Hannah Baker in, Amy Campbell in the experienced batter, and Grace Potts as well. Amy Jones dropping out, so Freeborn has the gloves back, and Chloe Brewer and Courtney Webb have both also made way. 3 changes from yesterday, so unsurprisingly using that squad, which as of this season consists of an increased number of full-time professionals. Bit of rotation, 2 games back-to-back, as that one keeps a bit low outside off. Smith was looking to pull it, went through at about knee height, just skidded on.
That's kept very low, and you have to think to yourself, you trust the pitch because it's always quite a good pitch here, but you can see Sophia Dunkley just making that point to Bryony Smith that maybe there will be that little bit of indifferent bounce.
Full. Smith just pushing it back, circumspect early on. We have seen this from Bryony Smith before, though, in this competition. Notable example was at the Oval last Sunday. Started relatively slow, was on 2 off 10, and then accelerated magnificently from that point, having had a look. LBW appeals, even from our angle, which is down at deep third. Didn't look like it quite had enough going for it.
No, more hope than expectation. Julia Jarvis quickly shaking the head.
When your keeper is already starting to track down the leg side, that's always a clue.
That's your indicator, yeah. That was going down the leg side, we can say that from here.
Nice looking straight drive, but again, Smith won't get anything for that. This is really good early pressure from Sparks.
Yeah, the 2 opening bowlers have bowled nicely here. They're bowling up to the bat. They're making it difficult, cramping a little bit of room for both of these openers. And at the moment, it's very much ball-dominating bat. Let's not forget that big life that we've seen.
Nice looking shot again from Smith, but straight to Davina Perrin at point. Smith, who, if you're just joining us late, was dropped on 1 by Eve Jones off Bowling of Hannah Baker, so 2 overs gone, and it's a circumspect start from this big hitting pair of Stars openers, 3 without loss.
Yeah, indeed, still 4 power play overs to go, so no real concerns if you are a Stars supporter, or indeed if you're one of those 2 players out in the middle. They'll know that they can really crunch through the gears, and they've been so good at doing that. Of course, it is a change in conditions, let's not forget that. We played at the Oval, Lords last time out. At Beckenham, a lot of games there, getting the opportunity to come here to Canterbury. Sometimes you just need to have a little look at a wicket.
Caris Pavley on. Pavley, a tricky left-arm spinner with good variations. Pushed out to Perrin at point, who fields enthusiastically, but there was always one there. These 2 bat together a lot and have got that understanding you develop over a period of time where calling isn't quite literally telepathic, but it's certainly a good line of communication. Down to long on. It's good from Pavley, bowling to a field. She's got a long on and a deep mid-wicket. I mentioned that those boundaries are slightly on the shorter side when attacking the onside, and also there is a slope that runs as you watch this over from the offside to the leg. Straight at extra cover, fielded by Jones, who zings it in over the head of Freeborn. Backing up is fine though.
Well, it was hit with great pace and power, in fairness, and it's a very good stop from Eve Jones. Either side, it might have raced away to the boundary's edge. As it is, good work from the skipper.
Short. Not the best delivery, slightly got away with it, but they ended up at the same end. And the throw was a little wide of where Caris Pavley needed it. Had the throw to Pavley been better, Dunkley would have been run out, because Smith charged down towards Dunkley. There seemed to be a bit of confusion about whose call it was. Pavley doesn't necessarily do too much wrong there, because the throw wasn't quite where she'd have wanted it. Short. Hard out to long on. Oh, it does the fielding at the expense of 1, so that's 2 really significant chances in the first few overs here. The drop catch off Smith, and then Dunkley possibly should have been run out there, in truth.
Pavley just banging one into the surface.
Nibbled away out to deep mid-wicket, so another single. We still haven't seen anything more than a single off the bat so far in the 3 overs bowled. Very good containment from Sparks. 3 overs gone, 8 without loss.
Well, maybe this pitch hasn't got the pace and carry of somewhere like the Oval or Beckenham. We've seen that in these early stages. It means that you have to try and really generate the power yourselves, and we've seen that from Smith and Dunkley. They are 2 big, powerful players. They can really crunch boundaries, but at the moment, we've not seen any. 5 to Dunkley, 3 to Smith, and there's really work to do halfway through this power play.
Well, you do sense we're probably at the point of time where something's got to give. Scoreboard pressure is on for Dunkley as she faces up. And the scoreboard pressure tells there with a loose shot against the impressive seam bowling of Grace Potts, who's come back into the team today for Sparks, one of 3 changes.
We are aware that's the likes of Schofield, Franklin, Farron, and they bat further down the card, so you don't want to chew up too many balls, maybe let others have an opportunity, but these 2 have got great quality, and they'll know that they can quickly change the picture.
Dunkley this time. Is it hard on the bounce to mid-off? So real signs of intent in this over from Sophia Dunkley.
Yeah, the field is set back. Of course, you've got the fielding restrictions in play, but when the ball is hit that hard, you want to get into that long barrier, and they fielded quite nicely. I know there was the drop catch from Eve Jones, but that's uncharacteristic. It's been a good start, this, from the Sparks.
I'll be very happy with this thus far. 6-3 offside field, very much signalling where Potts will bowl. leg single taken, fielded by Jones, but couldn't do anything about the run. But again, the pattern goes on, all in binary so far, dots and singles.
And you can see the two batters just walking down the wicket to have a little chat with each other. They know they've got that experience. They don't need to panic here. But they do start needing boundaries, you think to yourself, as the crowd builds up. That's why people come here. They want to watch excitement, and that's what this competition brings.
Short, and Smith will feel like she might have missed out there. It is a wide from Potts, but Smith was looking to pull that away. There's a deep third and deep backward square leg. Those are the two allowed out right now.
Yeah, first misdemeanor. The weather, the wind is really picking up again, and that makes it difficult for bowlers with ball in hand.
Pulled away by Smith. He does get a decent clout on it this time. Massive chase needed for deep backward square leg coming round, who will only fetch it back from the boundary. So they've had to wait a little while, the South East Stars. But finally, from the 22nd ball of the innings, they get their first boundary, having won the toss and chosen to bat. Skipper puts back to ball and gets full.
Sat up invitingly. You'd expect a player, when it's on the pads like that, very straight, of Smith's quality, to put it away, and she did. You don't expect the fielder backward a square on the leg side to cut that off.
Slightly mistimed from Smith off the inside edge. No run. 14 without loss. Circumspect power play so far from Smith and Dunkley.
Better over though, 5 off the bat and the wide.
Well dug out, good Yorker from Potts. And manages to get out of the over, which is another pretty tight one all told. So 4 overs gone. South East Stars 14 without loss. 3.5 and over the run rate early doors, so good pressure being applied by Central Sparks, who came into today 4th in the table. They and the Southern Vipers both have 13 points. They're separated by just net run rate, and then there's a gaping difference between Vipers and Sparks, and then Stars, who are 12 points better off. They have almost double the number of points of the two teams immediately below them. So it's a very split table. It does feel difficult to imagine the Blaze or South East Stars missing out from here. Remember, both of them know that victory today would secure qualification with 1 game to spare. Katie George on. 5 different bowlers used by Sparks in 5 overs so far. Straight drive back at the stumps and gone. Oh, that's luckless for Bryony Smith. Poor Bryony Smith. Struck hard by Dunkley. George got a little flick on the way through, and Smith knew that she was gone. George did as well. One of those curious dismissals that you can get in the game of cricket. And Bryony Smith has to go for just 7, run out at the bowler's end, 14 for 1.
Well, it's a harsh dismissal, but it is within the laws of the game, and you do feel very, very disappointed for the captain, because you know she would have wanted to entertain coming here like this. It was drilled back. We're just going to get the opportunity to see the replay. Plenty of ferocity. Here it is again. Bowling to Dunkley, pushes back down the track, and as soon as you get that little touch, Smith out of the ground trying to back up. And all James Treadwell needs to do is raise that index finger. And unfortunately, Smith's stay is at an end.
Now, out to the wicket comes someone in incredible form. Paige Schofield has talked about saying she's found her home. She's celebrated signing for Surrey this week with that half-century against the Sunrisers at Lords on Thursday. Continuing her brilliant form, and how the South East Stars could do with a bit more of that here. Schofield's been, I think, a great season of things so far. Of course, it's Dunkley still on strike. Hits mid-off. Dunkley decided to challenge herself to a running race at the danger end and gets home. So now Schofield will face Paige Schofield, who for the South East Stars has 2 tons and 650s in 28 innings. In the rest of her T20 and List A career combined, just 3 50s and no tons in 139 innings, thanks to Hypercourse, as usual, for statistical brilliance. Sums up how good Schofield has been in a Stars shirt. It's nibbled away, and there's no deep fine leg, so Potts will have to give chase. Keep it to 2. I think there was a tickle of bat on the way through. Indeed, no signal from umpire Treadwell.
Just a fine feather, yep, 2 runs off the bat to Paige Schofield, gets her up and running.
Schofield, who also scored a 50 when these two sides met in the 50-over competition, the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Trophy, back on the 27th of April. Just guided up to mid-on. Schofield hit a 50 in that game, and Tash Farrant made it 3 50s in 3 games at the start of the 50-over campaign. Rhiannon McDonald-Gay took 4 for 18, and the Stars won it by 71 runs by the Duckworth Lewis Stern method. Hannah Baker took 5 for 45 for Sparks in the contest. Comes slightly off the inside edge. Deep square leg in play, keeps it to 1. George now changing her field for Dunkley. It is noticeable that already the Sparks, in how they're setting their field, are looking to protect the slightly shorter boundary on our side of the ground, hitting towards the flats, where both in terms of dimension and then also the fact that the slope is running down that way, that boundary's a fair bit more accessible, you'd say. And trying to access it here is Dunkley, who has done so comfortably. Lovely shot, helped in front of square, using the pace and the angle of Katie George against her, coming back in towards Dunkley, just helped it on its way. It's her first boundary from her 15th ball faced.
Well, you can see she just cleared that front foot, and as soon as that happens, it opens up. You get the opportunity to try and hit a boundary ball, and Sophia Dunkley doing just that. Good to see her getting away, moving into double figures. 11 from 14, so she's ticking. You've mentioned about Schofield's brilliance so far this season. She must make sure she tries to keep it going. Still 1 to go in the power play. Let's hope for a positive over this time around.
So 22 for 1 of 5. I mentioned that game when the sides met earlier on this season. South East Stars managed 268 all out, and the Central Sparks needed 191 to win off 30 overs, reduced to DLS. Managed just 119 for 6. These sides will potentially end up meeting on finals day 2.
Here's Caris Pavley just dragging one down outside off stump, and Paige Schofield will feel that she's really missed out there. You can see it in the body language. It's sat up invitingly, and all she's been able to do is find the hands of the fielder, admittedly via a few bounces at extra cover. 22 for 1 is the score. Welcome along to the live stream here on South East Stars YouTube channel. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. We are at the Spitfire Ground, St Lawrence in East Kent, and looking all around, we can see plenty of great vantage points down the years. Kent have been a real successful county, certainly at the back end of the 60s and into the 70s. And then the advent of women's cricket, Paul Farbrace, of course, who has been involved with the England women's team down the years, has been heavily involved, and Michael's alongside. Another dot ball and up to the top of her mark, and Schofield down the bat again, drilling one to extra cover. Michael?
You can catch us on the Kent Cricket YouTube page.
Very good. Kent Cricket YouTube, there we are, correction. So if you want to join us and you're not joining us, but people have told you how good it is, make sure you join the Kent Cricket YouTube page, and we will, of course, keep you fully up to date and hopefully entertained. In terms of entertainment out in the middle, it's not been great from the Stars so far. That's leg side, and Schofield just turning it round the corner, and that's going to race away down to the Leslie Ames stand, away to her left-hand side. 4 more willing runs. Schofield's come in with the intent to try and be positive, and she's certainly been nice and positive so far.
Lovely shot from Schofield. It can really disturb spinner's length when you sweep convincingly, but as that replay shows as well, it wasn't the best ball from Paris Pavley down leg. Gives Schofield the freedom to open her shoulders as impressively as she did, and put another 4 on what's been a brilliant season for her so far. She is the 3rd highest run scorer in this competition at the start of today, behind just Georgia Elwys and Catherine Bryce.
You could certainly see what Pavley was looking to try and do. Go wide of the crease and dart one in towards leg stump. They're going to pick up a single off this next ball. Schofield pushing the ball down the track. The ball is fizzed into the keeper, and that is the end of the over. So 27 for 1 is the score. Schofield has 8, Dunkley undefeated on 11. The 1 wicket to fall so far. The skipper, Bryony Smith.
Schofield starting the day with 190 runs in this competition, 3 50s, an average of 63 at a very healthy strike rate of 147. Behind Elwys, who has 197 runs for the Vipers, and the excellent Scottish all-rounder Catherine Bryce, who has 220 runs for plays across the piece so far. Worth also mentioning that if you look at the top 20 run scorers across the entire competition so far in women's domestic T20 regional cricket, the Charlotte Edwards Cup, Schofield has the highest strike rate. So it's not just that she's scoring runs, she's scoring runs at quite a clip as well.
We are at the end of the power play, 27 for 1, so you have to say it's the Sparks who are benefiting from the power play, but here's 4 welcome runs, just backward a square on the leg side. It's going to run away down to the cafe and the Sainsbury's local, and as it does that, you see James Treadwell just signal 4, and Paige Schofield again continuing and showing her intent. She moves on to 12 from 10. Hannah Baker is back.
Baker, who took 5 for 45 against Stars in the 50-over meeting between these two in April.
Schofield facing up to the bowler who had first use. Again, it's leg side and almost a carbon copy. It's going to race away, and it's going to be another boundary down towards the dressing rooms there at the far end from where we're watching on. We're looking at those dressing rooms. We can see the Frank Woolley stand, the Colin Cowdrey stand. Lots of good players have trodden the path of this very famous ground. Paige Schofield showing that she is a trailblazer in women's cricket, doing so well here. On to 16. Sun just coming out from beneath a cloud, and a little bit more warmth goes around the ground. That's a slightly slower ball. Again, it's leg side, and Schofield just picks up a single to rotate the strike. Dunkley back on.
I liked her honesty as well in her post-match interview after an excellent knock when the Stars won against Vipers at the Oval last Sunday.
Yeah, you always get honesty. I think you see more of that in the women's game. Another ball just played with soft hands there by Dunkley.
She said, when asked if she'd be watching the double-header, she said, yep, I'll be watching it with a glass of Pimm's and having a great time. And then you could see a bit of media training coming back in, and she said, oh, I'm not sure I should have said that.
Maybe fizzy water. That one hit to extra cover. They think about a single. It's not on.
Regardless,
honesty is always the best policy.
Oval baked in sunshine last Sunday with a win, and they'll be hoping to repeat that formula here at Canterbury today.
Beautiful. Yeah, around about 5,000 to 6,000 people watching on as well. They're going to take a quick single here. A shy for the stumps, misses, but I think Schofield would have been in any case. The fielder was set deep there. That is the end of the over. They pick up another one. So a positive over, you have to say, with those couple of boundaries. The Stars on to 38. They have lost a wicket, but with Schofield and Dunkley starting to go through the gears, it's starting to look more and more encouraging.
So as an individual over, that is the best over of the innings. It's gone for 11. And before that, the highest scoring over in the innings thus far was the 4th over, which went for just 6. So that sort of reflects the fact that the Sparks have kept things under very good control thus far. Stars will be hoping that this is their time now to break free. Blaze are having a bat against Diamonds. They're 11 for 1 after 2. And the Southern Vipers are in some trouble. They're 92 for 5 off 13 against the Western Storm in Bristol. And Thunder versus Sunrisers gets going in an hour and a half at Blackpool.
And a reminder, it was the Sunrisers who were beaten by South East Stars last time out. 6 wickets, the margin of victory. There's going to be the opportunity here for Georgia Davis, who bowls one first time down the leg side. An umpire, Julia Jarvis, just signals that that is a wide. Plenty of youngsters watching on and enjoying their cricket. More and more people getting to watch this great game. The ice cream man's just turned up, always a welcome addition. This one is drilled out to the fielder at deep cover, and they pick up a single. Just rotating the strike, these two. They have batted together a number of times, and they'll want to make sure they spend some time out in the middle. 20 overs, a long time, of course. Let's not forget that. We're only into the 7th over. And here's Dunkley driving the ball to extra cover. They thought about a single, it wasn't on. And you can see Schofield just quickly put the anchor up. That hand went into the air. The last thing you want is any indecision. You don't want to run out. Dunkley has 12. Schofield has been the main aggressor with 19 so far. A couple of quick steps to get towards the pace, and that's beaten the infield. And it's going to race away to the boundary's edge. Very intelligent from a player who's been in imperious form so far this season. As soon as she got to the pitch of the ball, just watch this. A couple of quick steps, drilling the ball to the right hand of the fielder at cover and going in that arc between cover and mid-off. Great shot.
One thing you notice about a player in that good form is that one inning seems to be almost a continuation of another, and that's certainly the case here.
Well, that was arguably the best shot of the day so far. Dunkley looks to try and repeat it. The fielder will stop it at mid-off. It was slightly straighter, so it gave that fielder the opportunity. They raced through, though, for a single. Good rotation.
Schofield with 50 off 35 on Thursday.
Georgia Davis back at the top of her mark, runs up past the umpire. A little bit of width on offer to Paige Schofield again. She works the ball out to the sweeper on that cover boundary, and they take one. Change in the field. Short third just going into play. That's Caris Pavley. And continuing and spotting Dunkley trying to get to the pitch and take those couple of quick steps was Georgia Davis. She just dragged back her length. That's intelligent.
So 46 for 1 off 8. Still below a run a ball. And Sparks will be quietly content with their work so far, but they'll be very wary of how good Paige Schofield in particular looks of these two. And you know that Sophia Dunkley can explode at almost any moment.
Well, the last thing you want to do is panic, and the more experience you get under your belt, the least likely that is to happen. And these two are certainly right at the top of their game. We've seen their A game so far this season, and people pay to watch good cricketers, and that's certainly what we've seen so far. Emily Arlott is going to get the opportunity, a great cricketing name, of course. Arlott will get the opportunity from this Nackington Road end. Away to her left-hand side, there's a Route Master bus. You can get fish and chips from that Route Master bus. So popular.
Stationary, we might add.
Stationary, absolutely, yeah. You're not on the move eating them. Otherwise, you might see the revisiting. That one's dragged to the fielder, who's in that static position at backward point. No thoughts of a single. Good bit of work. Great fielding, diving away to the left-hand side, goalkeeper fashion.
These sides will meet for a third time this season across all competitions on the 4th of September when Stars travel to Sparks, having won in the reverse 50-over fixture.
Impressive from Davina Perrin. She carried out the fielding last time out. This dragged into the surface, and they're going to pick up one as it goes out to deep square leg. Just judging the bounce very nicely. Paige Schofield getting over it.
These two are comfortably Stars' best batters in T20 cricket this season in terms of output. Even before this innings, they'd scored just under 350 runs between them.
11:30 on a Sunday morning. Where else would you want to be than watching the South East Stars, who are going to pick up another single here? Schofield just working the ball to straight mid-wicket, and through they go. 21 from 18, ticking along nicely. Dunkley 18 from 20. We've seen Lots of variation, lots of opportunity just to have a look at bowlers. Just the one success so far, and it was that run out of Bryony Smith backing up, trying to go through for that single. Here's the bowler again, running past James Treadwell. That's wide down the leg side, and that will be signalled.
I was just doing a bit of quick maths. So these two actually between them, before this innings, in the 6 T20 games so far, had scored more than half of Star's entire run output. So as much as there's a lot of talented hitters to come, it does give you a sense of how pivotal this pair are.
A lot to continue. Runs up past the umpire, and this time bowls it outside off stump. And again, not too much in the way of purchase there from Schofield's bat. South East Stars winning the toss, electing to have first use of the wicket. They've been imperious in this game so far, just the one washout. Apart from that, it's been wins all the way, and it's showing victory today, and it would be qualification for finals day. And Schofield's played a big part, and she's facing up again as this time she works the ball to the fielder, Davina Perrin, in that specialist position. She carries out the fielding at backward point, dot ball.
She'll be a threat with the bat later on, Davina Perrin. 17-year-old. Can crash it around on her day, like she did against the Sunrisers earlier this season.
Arlott again runs up and bowls leg side. A little bit of bat here. It's only going to be one run though. Tickling the ball round the corner, and again you can see Schofield's body reaction. She feels that maybe she's lost out there, but the Stars bring up their 50. And it has been fairly slow progress so far. 9 overs have elapsed. There it is on the big screen.
You've got an invitingly short boundary on one side as well. Stars will feel like they've got to catch up a bit here, in truth. The wicket is by no means perfect, nor would any wicket in England be in early June after the very rainy May that we've had. But it does not have too many demons in it, you'd have to say, based on what we've seen thus far. I mean, the fact that both teams wanted to bat on it is a bit of a clue.
It's generally a bat first wicket here at Canterbury, in fairness, but it does look pretty slow, the wicket. There's going to be another bowling change here. Hannah Baker is bowling at the pavilion end, and the fielding is carried out by Perrin. They take a single. Got the men's game to look forward to later. Kent playing Middlesex, and this game is with you on the Kent Cricket YouTube channel. Thanks very much indeed for joining us for the live stream. Michael McCann alongside myself, Jamie Reid, as Dunkley turns this one round the corner. Just goes backward a square on the leg side. They take one.
So if they go at 10 and over from here, that's going to bring them to about 155.
And that looks a good score to me on what we've witnessed so far. I know you can have an explosive start in the power play. Schofield again having to wait. She works it out to the boundary there in front of the Colin Cowdrey stand, and they only take one. That's a good bit of fielding. That's a long distance. It took a while to reach the fielder, but then she fizzed it in, got it in nice and quickly. Good from both the bowler and the fielder. We're getting towards the halfway stage of this game as Dunkley just turns one round onto the leg side again, and they take another single.
Been really impressed by what I've seen from Sparks with the ball and in the field so far, apart from that drop catch of Bryony Smith in that opening over.
Yeah, uncharacteristic from Eve Jones. You certainly don't see that very often. And again, carbon copy, you can see exactly what Baker's looking to try and do. Push the ball into the pads, and they're picking up their singles, but no boundaries yet so far in this over. 55 for 1 is the score. Schofield, the aggressor, she's going along at a runner ball, 25 from 24. Here's Dunkley, though, looking to try and pick up another boundary, and that's very impressive. It's going to race away. And again, you can see Julia Jarvis, the umpire at that pavilion end, just signalling that that's an excellent end to the over with the boundary. And at the halfway stage, the Stars, 59 for 1. Commentary for the next 5 overs from Michael McCann.
So 10 and over here, we get 159. It's fair to say that this has been a good bounce back from Sparks so far. It can be really difficult in T20 when the momentum of the campaign is going against you. They've lost 3 in a row, having won 3 in a row at the start of it. They've brought things back quite nicely. They won against the Sunrisers by 7 wickets, against Western Storm by 21 runs, and then against the Northern Diamonds by 3 wickets in a rain-reduced thriller. Since then have lost to Thunder, Blaze and Diamonds. Here's Katie George. Turned away into the onside. George keenly doing the fielding to try and ensure there's no second. And it's good hustle from George to protect her own bowling figures. Difficult as well for Sparks when you've come off a defeat the day before. Holly Armitage with 62 and Ster Callis with 43. A big second wicket partnership of 97 that you would say probably went on to decide that match in Birmingham. Back of a length, straight at extra cover. Jones with the fielding. Nobody else got into double figures for the Diamonds, but it was that big partnership between Armitage and Callis that really got them to a decent score of 137 for 7. Hannah Baker with 3 for 24, the pick of the bowlers. And then for Sparks, Amy Jones top score with 39. Davina Perrin made 21. Courtney Webb chipped in with 23, but they fell 13 short. Worked away by Dunkley. 2 was the call immediately off the bat. They are going to come back eventually, and that's good scamperage they'll get to, regardless of some good work by George. It was placed right between the 2 sweepers of Webb and Arlott.
Well, they run the first one hard, and that is always the old adage. Make sure you get that first one in nice and quickly, and then you get the opportunity to turn. Schofield knew that she was coming back to the danger end. They'd throw to the bowler's end, and she was quickly back. Very impressive.
Slightly early on that dunk. We just had to check the shot. Shy at the stumps, but even from our angle, which is very much not side on, you could see that she was home. Ellis with the attempt.
Just popped, didn't it, on her? I wonder if that was a cutter maybe. You look at the way she looked to try and bowl it, and you can see Dunkley was slightly through the shot, just had to wait for it.
Georgie has 7 England appearances, all coming back in 2018. Sounded good. Chase needed for cover coming around. Will be just 1. So that is the 50 partnership as well. Starting to find a bit of acceleration here, the Stars. Schofield has helped inject energy into the innings. 50 added off 40 balls by this pair in just under half an hour. They are on identical scores of 27 off 26. Short again, 2 is the call from Dunkley. This time it's a bit too close to Arlott, who was hustling around from long on. End of the over. 66 for 1 off 11, so going at exactly a run of ball here, Stars.
Yeah, Katie George looking to try and bang it into the surface where possible, and these 2 batters have moved along very, very nicely. Schofield, the main aggressor, she's picked up 27. Dunkley, of course, has 28, but she's been there from the start of the innings. Just the 1 dismissal, and that is Bryony Smith. There's plenty of batters still to come. You look at the likes of Phoebe Franklin, Tash Farrant, Kalia Moore, you know, they do bat right down the card. There could yet be a sizable target here. The weather doesn't really know what it wants to do. It's a pleasant day. I'm making no complaints because we are delighted to see that sun up in the sky. It's not raining, which is a big, big start, but that cloud cover is making it difficult for us to know whether we need a jacket or not.
Chains of ends for Pavley. Rocks onto the back foot, picking the length nice and early, Dunkley. That's 1 more.
It should be said that we are under the big screen here at the Spitfire Ground, St Lawrence, and we do have a gazebo, so we are out of the sun. Maybe I'm being Mr. Grumpy.
Well, the flags on the far side away from us are fluttering a fair bit. Too short. Oh, and it's picked out deep mid-wicket. A great catch out there. Schofield can't believe what she's done. The player who's been in such devastating form for the Stars has to go. Pavely gets the wicket, but is somewhat indebted to a fantastic piece of work in the deep. So Schofield has to go for a runner ball 27 just as she was looking to kick things on. It's a really good catch from Katie George. And the Stars are pulled back to 66 for 2.
There's confirmation that George took the catch, and she seemed to catch it a little bit late, if you like, if you will. I mean, the way she came in on it, had to really dive forward at the end, but got those hands, the mitts underneath, and great bit of work. And that is the prized wicket. Phoebe Franklin now just needs to try and keep going with Dunkley. Dunkley, maybe they'll look to bat around, and the others will have to take maybe those few more risks at the other end. Look at that catch. Great celebration too. Very impressive, Katie George.
It's struck hard, and it's holding on to catches like that can make a real difference to the shape of the contest. Out comes Phoebe Franklin, who thus far in this competition this season has 53 runs at an average of 13 and a strike rate of 126. Bowls dependable medium pace as well. Is a very handy all-rounder to have in your side. They've got a power-packed middle order of all-rounders, the Stars, which we're heading into now. Great keeping from Freeborn. Wide, of course, as everything down leg is. Nice flight from Pavely, big appeals from the Sparks. Nothing given, but no wide given as well, so maybe just flipped off the pad of Franklin.
You can see what she's looking to try and do. Go wide of the wide of the crease rather, and angle it across the batter.
Well, there's one that's just escaped past Freeborn. Wonder whether there was a little bit on it. Very fine sweep. It's given as wides instead. So that brings Dunkley back onto strike.
Yeah, just a late signal, wasn't it, from Julia Jarvis?
Turned away by Dunkley for one more. There will come a point where Stars need Dunkley to explode into life here. The platform is set, there are wickets in hand. Schofield just flicks this away out to deep mid-wicket for one more.
Franklin off the mark.
Beg your pardon, Franklin. Computing error. Of course, Franklin's just got out there to replace Schofield. Big loss for the Stars, Paige Schofield. It's taken a tally to 217 runs in this competition this season at an average of 54.
He's been very good, Michael.
Sure. Dunkley didn't really connect with this. Clear plan from Pavely. It's an easy one to say. Clear plan from Pavely. End of the 12, 71 for 2. A successful over. Just 5 runs and a wicket picked up. Pavely looking to cramp batters for room and then have that deep set onside field where it's definitely a significantly bigger boundary when you're bowling from that far end of the ground away from us. And at this end, again, it's for the right-hander, it's a short boundary. You do sense that if a left-hand, right-hand combination can get in with this slope and ground dimensions, that could be a particular nightmare for a fielding captain.
Yeah, indeed. That will be the hope and the aim for both of these sides. And the likes of Davina Perrin, Amy Campbell, Abby Freeborn, you know, the batters who are going to be batting in that top order, they will think to themselves, we've had the opportunity to have a little look here, and they might be enthused if the Stars don't start to crunch up through the gears.
Good sweep from Dunkley. Big chase needed from deep square leg coming round. That's excellent from Dunkley. Rolled her wrists on it. This is a textbook sweep, and knew as well exactly where the field was. That's really intelligent cricket from Sophia Dunkley. Moves on to 35 with that boundary.
No real chance was there for Campbell to cut it off. It just ran down the slope very quickly.
That's what we meant when talking about that slope. This is down the ground for 1 off the bowling of Georgia Davis, who already has a free for in this competition this season, free for 23 against the Diamonds.
And if you don't know the ground, it runs away down towards the old Dover Road side of the ground, up towards the hospital. That is the top end.
Davis Sparks' second highest wicket taker in T20s this season, behind only Arlott. It's a nice one that just has Franklin pushing at it with a bit of uncertainty, still settling into her innings. She's 1 off 4. Straight at Jones at extra cover, so Franklin frustrated once more. Sparks in this competition went out in the group stages in 2021 and last season. They were runners-up in 2022, though, losing to the Vipers in the final. This time out to mid-off, something of a dummy from Jones, just to help distract the batters from thinking of trying to push for 1.
3 dot balls in a row now, the pressure's on.
You sense something's got to give here with the scoreboard the way it is as well. Franklin goes back and can only push this back to Davis. He gets out of the over really well. So it's another pretty tight over, and Sparks building a sense of pressure here. There's just 7 overs left now. If Stars were to go at 8 and over from here, that would grab them another 56, which would take them up to 133. Remains to be seen, of course, until both sides have batted on it. Does look like the wicket's doing a little bit, but there is this relatively accessible boundary on one side of the ground with shorter dimensions and the slope.
6 bowlers used so far, and in fairness, the bowlers have done very, very nicely. Looking around, seeing the crowd shots, lots of people enjoying themselves early on. Wave at the big screen. Well done, sir. You've just been spotted wearing his Kent shirt there with Pride. They play later, of course, and we had Canterbury Pride yesterday here in East Kent.
Yeah, fantastic to see as a member of the LGBTQ plus community myself, that there's a lot going on around that this month. The new over starts with a single. It's also an 8-team county tournament going on today in Sutton Coldfield, featuring 8 teams from across the country of LGBTQ plus cricketers. That'll be 1 more.
Yeah, Franklin's been a little bit circumspect since coming in. She did pick up a single there, but 2 from 7. Just puts a bit of pressure on Dunkley at the other end.
It certainly does, and there's hitters in the hutch here for Stars. Again, accumulation, the order of the day for now. Dunkley will get 1. Teams often have a mix of a feeling before a game what a pass score is, and then a bit of the batters working it out as they're out there. Oh, and this is ballooned off the top of Franklin's bat. She was on it very early. Heads out to short fine leg. That's 1 more, so the stranglehold from Sparks continues.
Well, luckily she only feathered it, otherwise it might have fell invitingly there for Grace Potts.
Davis keeping things very tight here. Dunkley cutting straight to Perrin at point. So really struggling to get away here. Hannah Baker, who took 3 wickets yesterday, is not in the wickets yet, but is not giving a lot away in this spell. Into the pads of Dunkley, some peels more in hope than anything else, you sense. Another over gone, and that over concedes just 4, so the run rate still below a run a ball with just 6 overs left. And really now, it's heading towards now or never point. Good economical figures from Baker. Her 4 overs complete and has gone for just over a run of ball, which, given she bowled a bit of that in the power play as well, is pretty decent going. Indeed, Sparks overall have been a very impressive bowling unit today. Good variety in the attack, good captaincy from Eve Jones. She's kept switching her bowlers about, not giving batters any time to settle.
Well, you mentioned 160 might be a good score at the start of this. That would mean a further 80 from 6, and that looks a long way off. They need boundaries here.
George bangs it in. Worked out to deep mid-wicket.
No real pace or carry is there in the wicket, and that makes it difficult because you need to generate your own power. It's not really racing through.
I haven't seen a lot of boundaries in this innings. It's often been quite attritional. Straight down to long on. I'll look with 1. So since Dunkley hit Davis for 4 in the middle of the 8th over, from that point onwards, we've seen just 2 boundaries across 6 overs of cricket. So again reflects the fact that Sparks are keeping things pretty tight here. Again banged in from George. That seems to be the plan here. 1 more out to Arlott.
Yeah, she's done it throughout her spell, and it does offer that opportunity to bring the bottom hand in and try and work it leg side off the wicket. That's what the 2 batters have looked to try and do. Dunkley going along at a good clip, but she needs to really explode here.
Fuller. Dunkley can only find mid-off, so the pressure only increases.
I think you raise a good point. Eve Jones has been very good in terms of chopping and changing the bowlers, making sure that everybody's hungry in the field. Free hit here. Was that a foot fault? No ball.
Not what Sparks need. Banged in, hit hard. Big chase for Arlott, who won't get there. Smashed almost baseball style by Dunkley through very wide long on for 4 more.
Right in front of our commentary vantage point, just splitting the field, going between those 2 fielders. You just see them both changing down or chasing down to the boundary's edge. But Dunkley moves on into the 47 away from what will be a well-deserved half-century.
Well, 2 is the call off the bat. Well to get 2 there, and there's a bit of frustration from George that they managed to. But that's good hustle from the Stars batters to get back.
Yeah, Franklin knew again that the throw would be towards the bowler's end. But there is a little bit of frustration from the bowler, you're right.
Again, 2's the call off the bat from Dunkley. And again, they will take it on. And again, they will get there. And that is the kind of hustle that South East Stars really need at this stage of things. So, end of another over. So, a more productive one. 93 for 2 of 15. With 12 accumulated from that last one. South East Stars winners of this competition, of course, back in 2021. And lost to Sparks the year after in the knockouts. And last season were pretty disappointing in T20 in truth compared to that record. Just 3 wins from 7. But of course, this season have been back to their best. 5 wins and a washout. And they'll be all too aware that victory today, same equation for Blaze in their match, would see Stars through to finals day at Derby in 13 days' time.
Well, the run rate is 6.2 and over. The Stars are 93 for 2. This is Jamie Reid, thanks to Michael McCann, who's alongside, and we're at the Spitfire Ground, St Lawrence here in East Kent, watching on and hoping that the Stars can pick up victory. And if they do win here today, they will qualify for finals day. This one just outside off stump, and it races through to the wicket keeper again. Franklin, who's 5 from 11. Striking hasn't been too impressive from the all-rounder. Dunkley at the other end, 47 from 41. We know that Franklin does have all of the shots, and she can be very impressive. Charlotte on her way again, running up past the umpire, Julia Jarvis, and this one goes out to deep cover, and they take one. It brings Dunkley back onto strike. She'll be eyeing up a half-century, just 3 runs away, of course. We're also starting to think about that Stars 100. They're 6 away. The moment it will be if we could see the first 6 off the innings, because it would take both of those into consideration. Dunkley facing up. It's outside off stump. Plenty of width on offer, and again, they only pick up a single. The umpire might well have signalled wide there. Franklin just looking all around, surveying the scene, looking at where the fielders are placed. And here is Charlotte continuing and giving a little bit of width to Franklin, who's got plenty of bat speed, but it's only going to race out to that fielder on the old Dover Road side of the ground. Good bit of fielding, whizzing it in. Just another single. Franklin, double teapots at the other end, just leaning on the bat. And Dunkley will know that she's just 2 away now from what will be a well-deserved half-century as Charlotte comes in to bowl to her leg side. They're going to pick up one. They should come back for a second. It might race away to the boundary's edge, and it has. Plenty of bat speed from Dunkley, and there is a half-century. What an important knock this could be in the context of this game. Very, very impressive. She moves to 50 from just 43 balls. A very good strike rate.
Sophia Dunkley's 2nd half-century in the Charlotte Edwards Cup this season, hit 53 against the Vipers at the Oval last Sunday, and this Sunday has continued that form on very nicely here.
There is the 100.
Really need her to kick on at the back end.
Indeed, Charlotte comes into bowl, and again, plenty of width. They drive to extra cover and race through for a single. Hannah Baker does the fielding. In fact, apologies, it was Courtney Webb. And the Stars, with 4 overs to go, have 101 for 2 on the scoreboard. The 2 batters to go, Bryony Smith, the skipper, and Paige Schofield, who's been in excellent form so far this campaign. Just a quick drinks break for the 2 batters. It can be hot out there in the sun. Delighted to say that my 3 daughters are in attendance, getting the opportunity to watch and enjoy cricket. They've got into football, they're getting into cricket. And that is the real positive, that it gets you outside. 4 to go then here at the Spitfire Ground, St Lawrence. You can, of course, keep up to date on the Kent Cricket YouTube channel. We thank you if you are joining us in that capacity. If you are at the ground, come down and say hello. We're set down by the big screen. You can give us a wave. And there is the chance now for Georgia Davis to continue. Davis has bowled 2, so she could bowl out from this end if required. A couple of quick steps from the batter Dunkley, who got to the pitch and picks up a single. Brings Franklin back onto strike. Franklin yet to really get going in this innings, but she's trying to play to Dunkley and give her the strike as she accelerates. 54 from 45 to the batter who's off strike. Here is Franklin drilling down the ground to mid-off. They take 1. You can see the ground starting to really fill up, and plenty of options and opportunity to purchase food and drink should you require it. There is the opportunity to see people in the crowd as we pick up another single here, the Southeast Stars. This just worked out to the fielder, who's straight there at deep mid-wicket, and just rotating the strike. At the top of her mark is Georgia Davis. James Treadwell, formerly of this parish, is standing at the Nackington Road end, and again they pick up another single as a very throaty motorbike makes its way down the old Dover Road. Flags above the Frank Woolley stand are picking up in the wind. We've got the Colin Cowdrey stand adjacent. Some real famous names down the years as driving down the ground and picking up a single is Dunkley. Dunkley has been very good throughout this innings. She's been the mainstay, as 56 from 47 fully testifies. Davis in once more. This one worked out to the leg side, and another single is picked up. They're not finding boundaries, and that is the concern. There's been a dearth of them throughout the innings.
Well, it's one of those games of cricket where we'll be able to reflect better back on this period of batting for the Stars based on what happens next. But right now, Franklin's 10 off 16 is not quite the rate of runs that Stars need. And, of course, from here, 10 and over gets 137. You would sense right now that Sparks the happier of the two.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I think if you can go anywhere under 7 runs and over, so anything sub 140, and you're happy going into it. Both sides wanted first use of the wicket. The Stars won the toss, elected to do so. Bryony Smith instantly saying that she wanted a bat. Charlotte is going to continue and just giving herself some room on the offside, and hitting the ball down the ground is Franklin.
Just to update you elsewhere, Blaze, of course, like the Stars, know the win today would take them through. They're 97 for 3 off 11 against the Northern Diamonds. It leads Tammy Beaumont with 45, Catherine Bryce 37 unbeaten. So they're going reasonably well.
We are watching the Charlotte Edwards Cup fixture between the South East Stars and the Central Sparks. Is this going to run away to the boundary's edge? Good bit of work down there on the ropes, and they take 2.
Meanwhile, elsewhere in the game that started a little bit earlier than us at Bristol, they're at the innings break. Southern Vipers have posted 137 for 9, a good recovery led by 55 from their experienced, so often trophy-lifting skipper Georgia Adams. Charlie Knott with 37, second top scorer, 3 for 8 for Lauren Fyther, 3 for 17 for Amanda Jade Wellington, as Dunkley goes down the ground, or tries to, but picks out cover. And that's the end of a brilliant innings from Sophia Dunkley. Just trying to scoop one up over the infield and mistiming it, so she goes for 58 off 49. It is a knock that has held this innings together, in truth, for the South East Stars, who are now 110 for 3.
Big wicket for the Sparks. They wanted to see the back of Dunkley from much earlier in the innings, but she's been able to get in amongst the runs column. It's been a very good contribution. She gets a good hand as she makes her way off. Always a knowledgeable crowd here. We just get the chance to see it again, and I think it was just held back. It was a slower ball. It wasn't picked by the batter. Good, comfortable catch. You'd always expect a fielder to take that catch. That's exactly what happened, and that is a prized scalp.
Dunkley's highest score in the Charlotte Edwards Cup this season. She, of course, had a Bradman-esque average up in the 90s during the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Trophy campaign, where she was in scintillating form, including 130 against the Diamonds and 67 against the Sunrisers, amongst some other impressive innings. Now, Tash Farrant has got to come out, and having got back into the Stars lineup today, as that change from the side that won at Lords on Thursday really inject some explosivity at the back end of this innings. Farrant so far in T20 cricket for the Stars has only faced 28 balls, scoring 22 runs and getting out 3 times, but has got to find a bit of form here and hasn't got a lot of time to do it. I think part of the reason she's come out is that left-hand, right-hand combination. I alluded to how tricky that could be on this ground in particular.
think she probably would have batted 5 anyway. Yeah, she is a left-hander, so it does add that little bit of variety, but unfortunately she's out. Would you believe it? Drills the ball down the ground to the fielder at mid-on. It's a comfortable catch, and Tash Farrant's contribution is a short one with the bat. She will get an opportunity with the ball, but suddenly it puts the South East Stars in a little bit of trouble. They need to try and rebuild again towards the end of this innings. Franklin is still there and not necessarily seeing it too well, 11 from 17. And here is the chance just to see Arlott picking up the wicket. It was very wide, it wasn't a great delivery. It's an easy catch for the captain, Eve Jones, and Farrant stay as a short one.
I just wonder whether the plan there was for Arlott to hang it outside the off stump, because Farrant was targeting that shorter, inviting boundary that has the slope favouring it as well. And now Emily Arlott is on a hat-trick. Arlott, who has been in 3 England squads back in the summers of 2021 and 2022 without quite representing her country, but is a very dependable domestic performer. Now has a hat-trick ball.
Rhiannon McDonald-Gay has been promoted up the innings. We know that she can hit a long ball. First, she needs to try and stave off that opportunity for a hat-trick. 110 for 4 is the score. We're into the 18th over, which means that there's only 16 balls to go as Arlott continues. And would you believe it, she's got the hat-trick. She's bowled Rhiannon McDonald-Gay. So disappointing from a Stars perspective. You have to say well played to the bowler, Emily Arlott, showing some great skill. And that is a hat-trick achieved. Very well done in this Charlotte Edwards Cup to Arlott. Just dragged back her length. It was a slightly slower one, maybe through the shot there. And there is confirmation of the wicket.
Bit of shape on it as well. Excellent stuff from Emily Arlott. And it only reflects what's been an excellent bowling and fielding display from Central Sparks. Not easy when you've lost 3 in a row, when you've lost a close game the day before. And of course, have had to travel here, having played that one in Birmingham. But they've shown that old cliche, bit of bounce back ability. And right now, it's the Stars who've got to find something at the end of this innings. And again, one of the problems, and it's a good problem to have, of Stars' top order functioning so impressively, is that you're now into a middle order and a lower middle order who haven't had a lot of batting in the middle in recent times. Kalia Moore comes out. She's faced just 6 balls in T20 cricket this season. She's only batted once, scoring 3 runs. And now she's the latest person to, well, initially try and stop Arlott making it 4 in 4.
Well, that's the last thing you will want to see. Moore facing up to Arlott, who runs up past umpire Julia Jarvis, and this one worked away on the leg side. They're going to pick up a single, which means that Moore will keep the strike. 12 balls to go in the innings, and the South East Stars with plenty of work to do. 111 for 5 is the score.
So it's another quiet over, and it reflects an innings where Stars have struggled to really get a period of momentum. After 10 overs, they were 59 for 1. And right now, they're set to probably only, you would think, just about double that. Moore and Franklin trying to scramble what they can.
Just the 2 overs to go. Katie George is going to bowl the penultimate over. You have to say that Central Sparks have been well captained by Eve Jones. Can of course keep up to date, and we thank you if you are with us on the Kent Cricket YouTube channel. We're keeping you fully up to date here at the Spitfire Ground, St Lawrence, with what's happening. The Stars winning the toss, electing to bat first in this one, and they found it difficult. Nelson on the board. 111 for 5 is the score. Katie George, the left armour, bowls to Kalia Moore, who picks up another single, might turn it into 2 here. They quickly say that the second wasn't on, and it would have been Franklin who would have been going to that non-striker's end, and she would have got into trouble there. So no chance of turning 1 into 2. And I think you have to say that is the wise decision. 112 for 5 is the score. 11 balls to go in the innings. And here is Franklin looking to try and open up the offside. She's hit this ball high up into the air. It's only going to go to the fielder, backward a square on the leg side. Amy Campbell does the fielding, and they take another single. But again, if you are Eve Jones, you're not too concerned, because the last thing you want to do is give away a flurry of boundaries, and that's not happening here. All they're doing is rotating the strike. Moore is back on. 1 from 2 so far, and just facing up to George, who goes wide off the wicket, bangs it into the surface. Down it comes to Emily Arlott, who picked up that hat-trick last time out. Now she's fielding well, throwing the ball in. Maybe looking a little bit tired, but she's been very impressive. She's bowled 3 overs. You would think she'd have the last. She's got a thirst for picking up wickets here. 114 for 5 is the score. It's been very good from a Sparks perspective so far. And another wicket. You could see exactly what Franklin was looking to try and do, open up the offside. She went offside of the ball, and of course it showed all of the stumps to the batter, or to the bowler. And she's been bowled here, Franklin, sent back on her way by George for 12. It's not been the easiest of innings, 12 from 19, and this innings just falling away. 114 for 6 is the score.
Yeah, more excellent work from Sparks. Franklin and Moore looking to push things on, and Franklin with an innings that will leave her frustrated. Came in at a time where Stars needed to accelerate off a platform. They just couldn't quite manage to do that. So Moore is joined by Hill, 2 players who've had very little opportunity to bat in recent times. Hill has played 3 innings in T20 cricket for the Stars this season, but to give you an idea of how little time she's had out there, she's only faced 9 balls.
It's a sign of a dominant side. Yep, you don't necessarily get an opportunity to bat down the card, and that's proven to be the case. The good thing is Chloe Hill, the wicketkeeper bat, can certainly find the middle of the bat, and she needs to here because time is running out. Only 8 balls to go in the innings. 114 for 6 is the score, and it is advantage to the Sparks at this stage of the game. Hill just getting ready to look on and face up to Katie George, who's at the top of her mark, runs past umpire James Treadwell, and it's another wicket, just holding it back, and you could see Hill was through the shot, and it is 2 wickets in 2 balls again. This innings is just falling apart. Frustration etched across the face of Chloe Hill. She has to make her way back. You are into the bowlers now. Hill goes first ball. George is on a hat-trick. And the Sparks cock a hoop.
Well, you'd say the Sparks are getting their rewards for pressure that is built through the innings as well. And that's what's left it a difficult task for the lower middle order in coming out and having to hit with the pressure on from ball 1. So here's Alexa Stonehouse. Stonehouse, one of the stars of the England under-19 World Cup campaign last year. Toured Sri Lanka in the winter as well for the under-19 Tri-Series, and has played in the 100 with Kent Rockets, but it's asking a lot of her to pull something together at this late stage.
Here comes the hat-trick ball. What are we going to see this time from George? You can see she's frustrated. She thought she might get lucky, but the wide has been signalled by James Treadwell, who was the coolest person in the ground.
As the umpire should always be, of course.
Big smile. Look at that etched across the face. She's frustrated. She wanted to try and follow in the footsteps of Emily Arlott. It wasn't to be. Emily right in front of us here, fielding at long on. And carrying on the bowling and completing her set is Katie George. And they will pick up a single. It will be the opportunity to get off the mark for Alexa Stonehouse. 116 for 7 is the score.
Well, they've been very dominant in a lot of this T20 campaign, the South East Stars. But it's safe to say that it's going to be a bit of a nip and tuck game, this looks like. By contrast, it's noticeable when you look at the table that Stars have comfortably the best net run rate in the competition, plus 1.2. Plays next best with 0.8. Hypercourse, as usual, with their statistical brilliance, saying that the Stars have been the fastest scoring batting team, going at 8.5 runs per over, and the most economical bowling team, conceding their runs at less than a run a ball in the 10 overs after the power play in the Charlotte Edwards Cup this season. But today, that middle period of the game, you'd have to say, has been won by the Sparks. That middle period of the innings, I should say.
Yep, it really has. Just 6 to go in the innings. Driving down the ground very powerfully. A hand on it by Arlott. They pick up a single. She certainly took a lot of the power off of that. Wasn't able to hold on. You could understand why, because Stonehouse has really clubbed it.
Stars so often so dominant. 3 wins in a row by 6 wickets against the Diamonds, Vipers and Sunrisers in the last 3.
5 to go. Here is Arlott getting ready to bowl again and hit high up in the air by Moore. Out it goes to the fielder at long on. They take one. They might come back for a second here. They really needed to try and race through. Stonehouse getting those long levers going to good effect, and they're back for a second. Elevation there from Moore. She's 4 from 4. 119 for 7 is the score. If you can finish positively, it gives you an opportunity of going in good fettle at the halfway stage of this game. Plenty of bat speed here. The fielder set back at extra cover. They only take 1. Sirens in the distance.
Worth saying as well, there'd never been a Charlotte Edwards Cup hat-trick until 10 days ago. Now there've been 2, of course. Tilly, Courtine, Coleman for the Stars against the Diamonds, and then Arlott today against the Stars for Sparks.
We almost saw 2 in one match, didn't we? Katie George felt that she might be able to follow up. She wasn't able to do so. This one just turned around the corner by Stonehouse. She takes 1, wants to come back for the second. It's not on. Which means that Moore is back on to strike. 121 for 7 is the score. 5 from the 4 balls that have been bowled so far. Just 2 to go in the innings. And the Stars, who've been so dominant with bat in hand this season, haven't had it all their own way here. Moore hits the ball high up in the air. It races down to the fielder at long on again. The second just isn't there. You could see that Moore wanted to get back onto strike, but Stonehouse will have the last hit of the innings. We are at the Spitfire Ground, St Lawrence, where there's a men's T20 to come later in the day. The Kent Spitfires taking on Middlesex. And that's a game to look forward to. 1 ball to go here. That's hit high up in the air. It's going to be a big catching opportunity. It should be taken. It is taken. And Amy Campbell making no mistake there as the ball was hit high up into the air. In fact, it was Davina Perrin who took the catch. Perrin making no mistake. And that is the end of the innings with a wicket. Confirmation, Stonehouse caught by Perrin off the bowling of Arlott for 3. And that is the end of the innings. And you have to say, they huffed and puffed throughout it, but it's not been the most impressive from what we've seen so far from the Stars. Let's counter that by saying they have been very, very impressive so far, but they've put 122 for 8 on the board, which means that 123 will be the victory target at just over a run a ball, and they will need to start very impressively with the ball in hand, because Sparks do have some good batters up top. But really, from a South East Stars perspective, with Sophia Dunkley hitting a half-century, that probably is below par. The ground staff will come out to work on the wicket, and they're going to have work to do with the ball, you feel, the South East Stars. Opening bowlers, Michael, because that looks a little bit undercooked.
Yeah, you would have to say that at the start of this innings, and indeed when we had the toss, if either skipper, given that both wanted to have a bat on this surface with an invitingly short boundary on one side, were told that there would be an opportunity to chase just 123 to win, they would be oh so content with that. Worth taking you around the grounds elsewhere. Western Storm 19 for 2 in the 4th over against the Southern Vipers, needing 138 to win. The Blaze can qualify today. They're 138 for 4 in the 17th over, I should say. Thunder versus Sunrisers gets underway in 40 minutes or so's time. We've got, I'm delighted to say, mid-innings, a little chat with the Director of Regional Cricket for the South East Stars, Emma Calvert, who's understandably delighted at the Stars' brilliant start to this season.
Good morning. I'm delighted to be welcoming Emma Calvert, Regional Director of the South East Stars, to the Spitfire Ground this morning. Emma, just talk to us a little bit about your cricketing journey.
Oh wow, yeah, where to start? So I played cricket growing up, played at Lancashire, forgive me for that one, but yeah, I played until I was 18. At that time there wasn't really a professional route into women's cricket, even the England women team weren't full time, so it didn't really seem like a viable option for me, so kind of left it at that, went off to university, and yeah, made my way back later in life, which has been really amazing to work in the sport that I love and to give other people the opportunities that I necessarily couldn't have.
Brilliant, and you've had an unbeaten start to the season in this competition. What's been going well for you this year?
Yeah, I mean, what a start to the season. 5 wins from 6, 1 rained off. I just think we're executing our game perfectly. So the bowlers are going out there, they have a clear mindset on what they want to do, and our batters are just enjoying themselves. I think that that's like a massive part of the game. If you go out there, you enjoy your cricket, you're going to come off with a good score. So yeah, it's been really exciting. I still don't think we've hit 5th gear yet, which is also incredible. So a lot still to play in this comp, but we're currently sat in a very good position. So yeah, very happy.
Brilliant. And how important is it to play double headers like this today?
I mean, it is incredible. And the sun's shining, which definitely helps. But for the girls coming to these grounds, they're living their childhood dreams. A lot of Kent girls in our team who've come down here and supported the men over the years. And I think to just be able to come out here and play on the same field is just incredible. It's so exciting. And to have the fans come down to and support them, yeah, dreams come true, really.
And finally, talking of the fans, have you got a message for the supporters in the ground today?
Yeah, enjoy yourself. Come and watch some epic cricket with South East Stars and keep supporting us. Obviously, last season as South East Stars, but really get behind us and help us to hopefully lift some silverware. So a big thank you to them.
Thanks so much. Have a great match.
Thank you very much.
I've been on a 20-year journey. I know the travel hassles to avoid, so I can stay totally focused. I've had my setbacks over the years, but now it's time to face the biggest challenge of my life. And I'm ready.
Holiday Extras and Sam Sills, a partnership beyond the ordinary, racing towards success.
fun and all the games, they all start here with All Stars Cricket. Skills, friendships, smiles, dreams. It all happens here. Every session is all-out action. All invited, even mum and dad. Bat, ball, catch, go. All stars and all stars.
And welcome back here to the Spitfire Ground, St Lawrence. You are, of course, with us on the Kent Cricket YouTube channel, and there's work to do at the halfway stage for the South East Stars. We are between innings. We'll be getting underway very shortly. The ground staff just making their way off, and the Stars, who batted first, scored 122 for 8 from their 20 overs. Sophia Dunkley at the top, making 58, also 27 for Paige Schofield. Apart from that, not too much in the way of contribution. Franklin next best with 12. Bryony Smith, the skipper, made 7. We did, of course, see that hat-trick, and we saw 2 wickets in 2 balls at the other end. There was some good bowling, some very economical bowling. Potts only bowled 2 overs, but she only went for 7 from those 2. We saw Arlott pick up the most wickets, courtesy of that hat-trick, 4 for 21 from the 4 that she bowled. And George picked up those 2 wickets in 2 balls, 2 for 31 through the 4 that she bowled. So there is plenty of work to do for the South East Stars at the top. You will feel that they'll need to make some early inroads defending that low target. 123 is what the Central Sparks require for victory. This is Jamie Reid alongside Michael McCann, and Michael will bring you commentary of the first 5 overs.
Thanks, Jamie. So it's just a tickle over a run of ball here needed to inflict the first defeat of the season on the South East Stars in the T20 format. And Central Sparks will feel relatively confident, but Bryony Smith's side have been a very well-oiled machine with the ball and in the field. And they're going to have to be at their brilliant best here. The general consensus is that it might be a bit under par with the bat, thanks to that late collapse, the 4 wickets of Arlott. But it wasn't just the collapse. Throughout the innings, they never really managed to get a sense of momentum. You'd have to say the South East Stars, posting 122 for 8. They've often this season had the formula of successfully chasing in T20 cricket. After that very successful Rachel Hayhoe Flint Trophy campaign that saw them pick up 4 wins from 6 to put themselves in a good spot in 50-over cricket for when that returns. But for now, Amy Campbell ready to face up. The destructive Davina Perrin is at the non-striker's end. Tash Fant has the ball in her hand. We'll get some shape away from Campbell in this lefty-to-lefty matchup. LBW appeals first ball. Relatively muted. When the keeper and bowler are not up in unison, that's always a clue.
They certainly kept low, you have to say. That is a sign of things to come, I think. It's not the quickest pitch here, is it? Farron will certainly make the ball talk.
Yes, delivery like that is what makes club cricketers say things like, oh, that was going under. But of course, line and length, the issue, and the angle from Farron. Nice looking drive, but straight at extra cover, fielded by Schofield, who was second top scorer with the bat for the Stars, with a run and ball 27. Got out just as she'd have been hoping to kick on.
Well, lovely to see the Stars are very chipper out there in the middle, and you need to be. You need to make sure that you're right on the money in the field with the ball in hand. Do everything right. Give yourself the best possible chance.
Again, nice. Smashed extra cover drive for 4. It was just too full and too wide. It gave Campbell a chance to free her hands and get them through the ball, and she did that well. Runs past the slope for 4. There is Dunkley at a deep cover point, but she had no chance. First boundary and first runs of the run chase.
Great hit with great ferocity, wasn't it? And it just raced away to the boundary's edge. With the field up like that, you've only got to beat the in-ring. You know it's going to run away, and that's exactly what happened.
So how does Farrant respond to being Smash for 4 through the covers. So better delivery. Just pushed back by Campbell. Remember that at the start of the Stars innings, the home side were pretty circumspect. They were only 8 without loss after 3 overs, easing their way into things. Just over a run a ball needed here for Sparks to end a 4-game losing streak. That's what it would be if they suffered defeat. Stars unbeaten in T20 cricket this season. Bumper, which Campbell has no interest in at all.
When you hit the boundary, I know the other 4 balls have all been dots. There's no need to try and chase one. The last thing you want to do is get out to a slightly wide one that's banged into the surface. I think it gets harder on this pitch when the ball gets softer. That's probably fair to say. Maybe easier against that new ball.
Played back to Farron, who fields well off her own bowling. So just that one that was too full and too wide put away. Apart from that, no other score off the first over. 4 without loss after 1.
Farron good when she bowls up to the bat like that. They did pick up the boundary, and that was hit with great pace by Campbell. Just having a chat now with Perrin. You can see them on the picture there. The 2 batters knowing exactly what they need to do, and that makes it a wee bit easier for them.
Sparks, of course, fighting for a spot in that top 4. Just to remind you, they started the day level with the Vipers on 13 points. Vipers above them on net run rate, though. Both teams 12 points behind Stars in second. Stars just a point behind Blaze, who are top. You get 4 points for a win. You get 1 point for winning by 1.25 net run rate more than your opponents.
Stonehouse just going down the leg side there, the wide signal.
You pick up a couple of points for a washout. At the other end of things, Northern Diamonds not far off being out of it. Just 1 win from 6. They picked up their first win yesterday against Sparks. And then working upwards from that, Diamonds bottom, Western Storm second bottom. They have a win, a washout, and 4 losses. And then Sunrisers and Thunder have 8 and 9 points respectively. They're 6th and 5th. Top 4 get to finals day.
Stonehouse continuing, and Perrin just pushing the ball to extra cover.
Worth saying as well, it's a bit of a curious format, this Charlotte Edwards Cup, because the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Trophy has 14 games, 8 teams, you play everybody once. It's not quite as simple when it comes to the T20s. So that's worked away up to deep square leg by Perrin for 1. So this competition is not a single or a double round robin. It's a peculiar format. So it's a 10-game group stage. You play 3 teams twice. You play 4 other teams only once. So these 2 sides are meeting today in what is their only T20 meeting, but they'll have played 3 of the other teams in the group a couple of times. Campbell again freeing her hands, and much like she did in the first over, going through that cover region, except this time it's cut off. That's good hustle out there by Farron, who's an excellent fielder, keeps it to 2.
She really is very, very impressive, because that's a long boundary there. She ran down towards the Colin Cowdrey stand and she saved a couple.
So they work it incredibly hard on the South East Stars. Campbell again, so something she likes to do, free her hands outside off. It was maybe a bit of a catchy chance for Kalia Moore, but in truth, if she finds a way to run back and take that, then we're still watching replays of that in 2029, and rightly so. As it is, spoons up for a couple more.
Not the tallest of fielders. You could see that she was really on her bike, looking to try and get towards it. It was always a very, very tough catch. It would have been a catch of the century, as Michael said.
Hard down the ground from Campbell again. Looking in good form early doors here, Campbell. Real intent to attack in the power play. She moves into double figures with her second boundary. And Sparks, after 2 overs, will be quite pleased with that. They've picked off 10 from the second, and 14 without loss.
Well, I like this from Amy Campbell. She knows that if she's out there and bats for any period of time, the Central Sparks are going to give themselves an excellent opportunity of going on to register victory. She's just talking to Davina Perrin there. She's had the lion's share of the strike here, and it started very, very brightly. We're going to get the opportunity to see Tilly now, and we need her to get amongst the wicket column.
So Tilly Courtine-Coleman to come on. It's interesting, Campbell's not had the best T20 campaign so far. Amy Campbell, in the games that she's played in. Wonder whether she just come out and decided to show positive intent here, try and not quite hit her way into form, but really try and give the bowlers something to worry about. You have to say, the early signs are promising for the experienced Campbell, the 33-year-old. He's worn a fair few different shirts in her time as a women's cricketer, with Worcestershire, the Manchester Originals, Northumberland, Yorkshire, Durham, Northern Diamonds and the Northern Superchargers. And it is now Davina Perrin facing up. 2 very talented teenagers you're going to be hearing a lot about in the coming years. Facing each other, and it's Courtine-Coleman who wins the battle. Tilly Courtine-Coleman bowls Davina Perrin. The dangerous Davina Perrin has to go for just 1. That's a big early breakthrough for the Stars, who really needed that. And once again, Tilly Courtine-Coleman with her left arm spin at the top of the innings comes up trumps.
We did say what an impressive performance she's been so far, and a big match player. And what you need to do on the big stage is deliver, and she's done exactly that. It's the opportunity now for Abby Freeborn to come out and join Campbell. 2 players who know what's needed to try and win run chases. But that's a big, big wicket. Well played, Tilly.
So, Tilly Courtine-Coleman, who of course took the first Charlotte Edwards Cup hat-trick with that 4 in 4 not too long ago. Arlott followed it up with a hat-trick in this game. Tilly Courtine-Coleman maybe eyeing some more spectacular stuff. Courtine-Coleman with 5 for 19 in that game away against the Diamonds on the 31st of May. Now out comes Freeborn, who will look to be naturally aggressive in the power play. That is Freeborn's tendency. She tends to be given something of a free role in that sense as well. Facing the exciting young 16-year-old Tilly Courtine-Coleman, who sees the ball flicked away through to square leg, no run, enthusiastically fielded, no real prospect of a run out at the bowler's end. Courtine-Coleman, who turned 17 August the 23rd, born in Canterbury, where of course we are here today, is quickly making a name for herself this season in particular. Oh, beautiful flight, just held that one back a bit. Freeborn was understandably uncertain.
Tash Farrant making plenty of noise, getting right behind the bowler.
Worked away by Freeborn. They did finger 2 briefly, there wasn't 2 there. There was Courtine-Coleman, the bowler, meeting with Farrant, and 2 would have only really brought a run out. Freeborn has a strike rate of 136 in T20 cricket, behind only Perrin for strike rate for the Sparks, so she will look to counter-attack when she gets the opportunity, but not easy when bowling's of such a high quality. Now, again, Campbell is a left-hander at the top of the order, can be really helpful for the Sparks here in trying to counter Courtine-Coleman's threat. Oh no, she's gone. Bowled middle stump. It skids on. It's a second wicket for Tilly Courtine-Coleman, who gets the experienced Amy Campbell who looked very purposeful for her 12, but has to go. It's another strike for the Stars, and it's another strike for the 16-year-old Tilly Courtine-Coleman, 14 for 2.
It's a much quicker delivery. We'll just get the chance to have a little look at it, but it's a full pint. You can see that the middle stump out of the ground there. She really has sent that one through, and you can see Chloe Hill, the wicket-keeper, saying exactly that. She had the best chance, or the best look at it, the best seat in the house. Let's see it again.
Good variations from Courtine-Coleman, who yet again is showing why Charlotte Edwards decided that she was going to have a part of Edwards' Southern Brave squad for the 100 before she'd actually even played a game for the South East Stars this season. And now, obviously, of course, before we get round to the 100 in the summer, Courtine-Coleman is very much showing in women's domestic regional cricket what she's all about. That is another wicket to her rapidly growing tally. She has plenty now in women's T20s, 9, including 2 today. So that's blocked back. Understandably watchful Jones, having just come in, so 15 for 2, just 1 run off the over, and a couple of big scalps for the Stars. And Tilly Courtine-Coleman, who is already putting together quite the CV of work for the Stars this season before she even gets to playing for Charlotte Edwards in the 100 with the Southern Brave.
Well, she's smiling there, and you can understand why. What a contribution it's been so far to pick up the 2 openers, to send them both back. And it was a good start, certainly from Amy Campbell. She looked nice and positive at the top of the innings. We said that there would need to be some early inroads. That continues. Kalia Moore is going to get an opportunity here, and spin proving fruitful so far for the Stars.
Moore with her leg breaks is just turned away by Freeborn for 1. Just jumping back to Courtine-Coleman, she was part of that England under-19 side that was in Sri Lanka in March and April for a tri-series against Sri Lanka and Australia. And that again reflected the high esteem in which she was held as a 16-year-old to be on the under-19s tour. Not just on the tour, but playing games and taking wickets as well. More trying to follow up and continue to build that pressure. Comes around to left-handed Jones, who gets it low on the bat, straight to mid-off. She's been in and out of the side across 50 over in T20 formats this season, Kalia Moore. She's only bowled 9 overs in T20s before the one that you're watching now. Gets a dot there, straight to point. He's picked up 1 wicket and gone for a tickle over a runner ball. Of course, sometimes selection very much about balance of the team, what you expect the pitch to do. Again, straight to cover, good consistency from Moore. Jones just settling into her innings, watchful.
3 dots, and suddenly they're beginning to join up. It makes it a bit more difficult for the Sparks.
Eve Jones will get 1 there, not too long on. Jones, who will be a key pillar in this Sparks batting lineup, already has a ton this season in 50 over cricket, 136 not out in an epic run chase against Thunder, and is so often the backbone of good things Sparks do when wielding the willow. Freeborn straight back to Moore, so end of a very tidy over, concedes just 2. And well, both sides struggling in the power play today. They only managed 27 for 1 off their 6, the Stars, but with 4 gone, the Sparks are in a bit of bother, 17 for 2.
Indeed, yeah, having lost those 2 openers, and you can see James Treadwell just taking the cap from Tilly Courtine-Coleman. She's delighted to keep going. She wants to keep going, and she is from this part of the world. When you get the opportunity to go and play in front of your home crowd, and it is continuing to fill up, the Kent Spitfires play slightly later. They've got Middlesex.
For now, Courtine Coleman continuing, struck hard down the ground, struck beautifully down the ground by Jones. A little bit over-pitched from the 16-year-old spinner. And Eve Jones taking the attack back to the bowler. Nicely, just the second 4 of the innings.
Good from the skipper. Caught it low on the bat, but got plenty of bat speed into it.
Nibbled straight to square leg. And then a bit of a mix-up.
Well, as the ball was thrown in, it's hit the helmet, hasn't it, of Eve Jones?
Just about to say, hopefully this isn't quite as serious as it looks initially. Obviously, physios and medics are charging on. Jones in some understandable discomfort. Players just understandably giving her a bit of space to be assessed appropriately. That should be the case in the modern era with what we know about concussion. And there'll be a little delay here, just gives us a chance as well to take you round the grounds elsewhere. Blaze have posted 159 for 7 against the Northern Diamonds. Tammy Beaumont with 45, Catherine Bryce with 54. 2 stars of that. Erin Burns took 3 for 19 with the ball. 2 for 19 for Katie Levick as well. So that's a tough chase for the Diamonds. Of course, got their first win in this competition yesterday when they beat Sparks. And elsewhere, Sunrisers versus Thunder. 2 sides sat in 5th and 6th with just a point apart, both knowing they probably can't really afford another loss. It would leave them a lot of work to do in the last 3 games to make the top 4 on finals day. That game gets underway at Blackpool in about a quarter of an hour's time. And then Western Storm in a nip and tuck run chase against the Southern Vipers at Bristol. Vipers posted 137 for 9. Led by 55 from captain Georgia Adams, 37 from Charlie Knott. Only Alice Monaghan with 11 made double figures outside of those 2. 3 for 17 for fantastic leg spinner Amanda J. Wellington. Sophia Smale picked up a couple of wickets with her spin. Lauren Filer with 3 for 8. The top was exceptional. And Storm in the run chase, very dependent on certain Heather Knight. Pretty handy to have in your side, of course, seeing the skipper. She's 46 not out. Sophie Luff with 12 is the only other player to make it into double figures. 2 for 16 for Lindsay Smith at the top. The Western Storm was 77 for 3 off 11 overs, so they're pretty much up with the required run rate in that one. As for here, all checks have been done, steadily completed, and we are now set to resume with Courtine Coleman bowling to Freeborn.
And more than anything you've mentioned there, the good news is that Eve Jones is okay.
Absolutely. Jones just taking her time to be properly assessed. Now, with the wind just whipping up here at Canterbury, can get back underway. Into the pads of Freeborn, but sliding down. You can see as well, Courtine Coleman bowling left arm around, and that slope from left to right on that main camera angle. That it's going to need quite a bit of turn, sense, to pick up an LBW here. Freeborn will get 1 here into the onside. Naturally aggressive, Freeborn, but is reining back those aggressive instincts here because of the game situation. Understandably so.
Yeah, only just over an hour, an over rather, of the power play, so there is still work to be done.
Straight to short mid wicket, so Jones will get nothing to show for that one. Eve Jones, who is Sparks' second highest run scorer in T20 cricket this season. Jones will get 1 more down to long on here. Perrin is Sparks' top scorer, 139, 79 unbeaten of those came in emphatic win against Sunrisers at New Road earlier on in the campaign. So 5 overs gone, And Sparks are 2 runs ahead of where the Stars were at this stage, but they've lost a couple more wickets. It is a proper nip and tuck contest, this. Remember the permutations. Stars know that a win of any kind will take them into T20 finals day with 3 games to spare. Sparks with 3 losses coming after 3 wins that started the campaign, looking to get back on the winning train as they also, of course, chase a top 4 spot.
4 bowlers used so far by Bryony Smith, the captain for South East Stars. We've seen 5 of the 20 overs and the score 24 for 2, which means that a further 99 runs are needed. And I don't think there's anybody in this crowd who wouldn't mind a 99. The ice cream man is here. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Paige Schofield looks on as
cold
Tash
for
Farron.
it though, no?
Oh, no, certainly not. You can never turn down a flake in a cone. How dare you even suggest it? Here is Tash Farron. Just a little tickle. That's going to race away to the boundary's edge. The faster they come, the faster they go. Danny Gregory can't cut that off. Races away to the boundary for 4.
Yep, 4 more to the total, and it's just a sensible accumulative shot. Knew exactly what she was doing, Jones.
A little bit straight, wasn't it, the delivery onto the pads of the batter. Jones 11 from 10. Freeborn looking on at the non-strikers end, 3 from 7. 28 for 2 is the score. This is much slower, and she just has to dig it out. Good batting from Eve Jones, because it was very sensible bowling from the all-rounder. And we know just how good Tash Farron is. She knows this part of the world very, very nicely. She's had an injury-ravaged spell. What we want her to do is just get an opportunity to play cricket. That's what all of these players crave.
Yeah, pretty much 2 years or so out until the start of this season, where she's been really impressive across both formats.
And she's on her way once more, running up past the umpire, Julia Jarvis. They're going to race through for a single. Danny Gregory does the fielding, a slight misfield, but she quickly makes amends and no thoughts of that second run. We'll get the chance to see Gregory slightly later on with the ball in hand. At the moment, we've seen the 4 bowlers used so far. 2 for Tilly Courtine-Coleman. And now Tash Farron is into her second over, so halfway through her spell.
You'd expect Gregory will bowl right through the middle, leg spinner.
Farron, the left armour, runs up past the umpire again. This has gone high up into the air. It's a catching opportunity for Courtine-Coleman, and taken with aplomb by the 16-year-old. And that is a big, big wicket. They picked up the 2 openers, and now we see the Sparks are 3 wickets down. Just 29 on the scoreboard, and you have to say the Stars going nicely here. She's just strangled it again, Farron, just held it back.
Yeah, it was clever. Freeborn was onto it very early, and that puts all the more pressure on Eve Jones out there as the skipper to try and marshal things for Sparks. Good composed catch, but one you'd expect to be taken. Freeborn just looking to sweep. She does like to do that against the seam bowlers, but it looked very full. I wonder whether it was something of a cutter as well. So Freeborn gone for just 3 of 8. Sparks definitely in a rebuilding phase, you'd have to say now, as Katie George comes out. George bowled well earlier on, 2 for 31 off her 4. That will certainly give her confidence as she comes to bat. George, someone who's a very capable middle order player, but so far in T20 cricket this season hasn't necessarily shown it as much as she would like. 62 runs at a strike rate of just 95 per 100 balls, with a best of 28 not out. I'll tell you what they give for 28 here, 28 not out, that coming against the Blaze back on the 31st of May.
Katie George's squad number. Driving down the ground to extra cover, through it goes, but good backing up from the fielder at mid-off. That's hurt.
Oh, well, we've
caught the foot of the wicket keeper.
Oh, Chloe Hill, that's painful. Just called her awkwardly. She was running in and trying to collect the front, trying to sort of get past George to collect it.
Trying to entice you into mentioning 99 and very much hoping that you might fall for the trap. You didn't. It would work from you, Michael McCann. End of the over, 29 for 3 the score. 6 overs gone then, the power play overs are at an end. 14 to go in the innings. The required rate, 6.7. The run rate so far, 4.8. The Sparks have work to do.
Am I right to sense I have a co-commentator next to me who might be desiring an ice cream?
Yes, please.
Yes, please, says Jamie Reid next to me. You're listening to Jamie Reid alongside yours truly, Michael McCann, on the Charlotte Edwards Cup coverage. Sparks 29 for 3. So they're 2 runs better off than Stars were in the power play, but they've lost 2 more wickets. So there's no doubt that Stars have won the power play. And Stars, who have been so impressive, unbeaten in T20 cricket this season, knowing that a win would secure their finals day spot, going to have to really fight to earn it in this low-scoring thriller. Moore now changing ends.
Uppish, wasn't it? But safe. Down to Sophia Dunkley, who's the sweeper on this offside. They take a single.
And whilst right now, I think you'd probably rather be the Stars. It only takes 1 big over for Sparks, and they'll feel like they've wrestled back control. That's the nature of only having 122 on the board.
It's all about picking up wickets, and Bryony Smith will be delighted to have 3 so far. If they can pick a few more up, that will put them into a real dominant position. Kalia Moore continuing and bowling to the stumps and picking up 4 runs very elegantly, just splitting the field. Absolutely no chance of Alexa Stonehouse cutting that off. Plenty of bat speed. 4 more runs to the skipper, Eve Jones. In fact, it was George off the mark with that boundary.
Yeah, sweeping really purposefully. Again, it's that shorter ground I mentioned, hitting towards the leg side boundary from this end, and the slope is with you.
George facing up again to Kalia Moore and going leg side, trying to beat the field. Sophia Dunkley is there, but not the cleanest of pickup. And they race back for 2. Quite a bit of noise and chatter out there in the middle from the Stars, who had first use of the wicket and put 122 for 8 on the board. Remember, there was that hat-trick, half-century for Dunkley, and a wide here. Just straying down the leg side is Moore. It's going to race away to the boundary's edge. It's going to be 4 wide, so you have to say it's a 5 in total. You have to say that is huge.
Well, it's a freebie, simple as that. And this is exactly the kind of over I was just talking about. When you're defending a low score, it doesn't take much to shift the pendulum. And suddenly, we've had 12 off 3 balls.
41 for 3 is the score. Is this the over that proves to be big in the context of the game? Moore needs to come back here and does come back nicely. Bowls up to the bat.
It's not always the perfect thing, shall we say, but at the start of this over, Wasp had the batting team's chances at 36% and it shot up to 58 from those 3 balls.
Always difficult to read this early in the game, as this one just races past the outside edge, and the chance, there it is. She's been stumped. Would you believe it? Very, very disappointed, Katie George, but she has to make her way back. She's just overbalanced.
No, George thinks that this has gone past Hill, I'm pretty sure. George does not realise that the ball is still in Hill's gloves, and that's why George is looking around a little bit frustrated. She seems to think that the ball isn't in the gloves of Hill. She starts setting off for a run, and then the bells are whipped off and she's gone. So it's good glove work from Chloe Hill. It's a moment of confusion for George, who is out for just 6, and it means the Stars keep chipping away. we'll get a chance to have another look, which may or may not confirm my suspicion. Yeah, absolutely. George sets off, and Hill has the ball in her gloves, gleefully whips off the bails, and that is out.
It's naivety from the batter. You can't say anything more than that. It's naivety from the batter to set off like that, to not understand the script.
Well, it's not so much not understanding, it's just that it's just a misjudgment. It does happen from time to time. She just didn't realise the ball was in Hill's gloves. She clearly thought it had dribbled away on the offside somewhere, and that moment has cost Katie George a wicket. Good hustle from Hill behind the sticks.
Well, in the overall context of the game, I can't help disagreeing with you there. I think that's very poor from the batter. I think you've got to be aware of the situation all around you. You see where that ball is, and very good. She held on to it, the wicket-keeper, and then decided to take the bails off. They're going to race a quick single here. All that matters is that Eve Jones is back onto strike, and the new batter is out there in the middle, and the new batter is Courtney Webb.
So they're going to bang on and run a ball, but as they have been so often, Sparks are very dependent on Eve Jones.
Danny Gregory is going to bowl from the pavilion end, so we're going to get the opportunity. You've got a unique nickname for her, Michael.
The Braided Wonder. Kit Harris of Wisden can take responsibility for that one. It's a delight to watch come in and bowl. Beautiful varieties of leg spin. So often can not just contain but pick up wickets at the same time, and they really need some of her best work here. She's gone exactly run a ball in T20 cricket this season, and she's the Stars' second highest wicket taker.
Just a shade past 1 o'clock. We've got the men's game to look forward to in the T20. That's coming later. This one worked out towards straight mid-wicket. They take a single. There's no chance of a second. Oh, there might have been a run-out opportunity. They were looking to try and turn 1 into 2. It simply wasn't there. It was a good return. Little change in the field. They are cock-a-hoop at the moment, picking up that bonus wicket. Paige Schofield just goes leg side, with the left-hander coming back onto strike. And Eve Jones, the captain, just surveying the scene. And again, another change. Kaylia Moore coming over onto this leg side, just round the corner on the 45. As Jones just gets ready to face up. Stays leg side of the ball, works the ball down the track, and they will race through for a single. Not the best bit of fielding. In the end, she kind of lost it, Alexa Stonehouse. That's a bonus run. Julia Jarvis and James Treadwell are 2 umpires. Peter Such is the match referee. We are here at the Spitfire Ground, St Lawrence, watching on and hoping that the Stars can win. And if they do win, they'll be through to finals day. This one banged into the surface, hit away out towards the leg side, hit with great power, but tag team fielding, very good work from the 2 of them. They've stopped it going over the boundary's edge. Kaylia Moore doing a lot of the work, and then it was fizzed in by Phoebe Franklin. That's good work out in the deep.
Good cricket all round. Everybody comes out of that with credit. Good hustle by the batters to make sure they got 2 to the long boundary.
Sun is back out, which is always a welcome addition. 46 for 4 is the score. 4 away from the half century. A boundary gets you there. It's only going to be a single. Fielding carried out by Schofield, and they're just rotating the strike where they can. 5 from the 4 balls that we've seen so far in this Gregory over. Her first brings Jones, the captain, back onto strike, the left-hander. The Seagull just goes overhead and going leg side, turning the ball round the corner. 2 more is Jones. She picks up another single. And there's 1 to go in this over. Nice ground to come and watch cricket here. Spitfire Ground, St Lawrence. It has changed over the years with the flats away to our right-hand side. And there's been that extension to the dressing room area. Sophia Dunkley into the game out there at deep cover. They take another single, and that is the end of the over. One away from the half century. The Sparks 49 for 4. 123 is their victory target. They got 12 overs to go.
3 runs ahead of where Stars were at this stage, but they've lost 3 more wickets. Of course, the wickets for Stars falling in a clump at the end. Of course, interesting times for Central Sparks, who recently parted company with head coach Lloyd Tennant and his assistant Dominic Osler by mutual consent. Tennant had been part of the Sparks coaching staff since 2020, and that helped them reach the final of this competition before losing to the Southern Vipers in the T20 showpiece in 2022. Norm MacLeod saying decisions like this are never easy. The guys are passionate about women's cricket. MacLeod, the director of West Midlands Regional Cricket, but we believe the time is right to make changes to Sparks' coaching staff and structure for the remainder of this season and in readiness for next season. And of course, Central Sparks will somewhat morph into Warwickshire in the region to county change. Here's Phoebe Franklin from the Nackington Road end, just jabbed away, dot ball. But it is quite unusual that it's not very often you see major coaching changes mid-season. The Sparks statement continuing that regional talent manager Darren Franklin and former New Zealand player Justin Dunce have taken on more prominent roles with Sparks for the rest of this campaign.
Yeah, read into that what you like, but it looks a major fallout, doesn't it? As you say, almost unheard of. You don't necessarily see it, as this time into the game is Rhianna McDonald-Gay, fielding down at long on. And they take one, and that brings up the half century in the 9th over.
Definitely unusual. Sparks thus far this season had three wins from three in the Charlotte Edwards Cup, then 3 losses in a row. In the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Trophy, Sparks hadn't had the best start, you'd say. 2 wins from 6, second bottom in the table. Weird looking table in that competition. 4 teams with 4 wins from 6, 4 with just 2 wins from 6.
James Treadwell just reminding Bryony Smith that we do need to get through the gears, get through the overs here. We got the men's game to come in the T20 slightly later, and they want to stay ahead of their bowling responsibilities. There's going to be a single here. That wasn't easy. It hit a wicket end for Schofield. It gave them that opportunity.
Yeah, the cut-off time is 13:46. It's one thing you notice as well whenever heading out to the toss and listening to the umpires brief the captains. It's the first thing they talk about plenty in terms of keeping to time.
Absolutely, you need to do it. It is a prerequisite now as Franklin bowls again and working the ball out to deep cover. Picking up a single more is the fielder, the boundary rider on that side. And again, you can see Franklin just being urged to get back to her mark nice and quickly. She's gone for 3 singles from the 4 balls that she's bowled so far. Jones 16 at a runner ball, 8 from 8 as well for Webb. Here she is coming round the wicket and bowling to the batter, who just covers up and pushes out to Dunkley and picks up another single. Singles are fine. Want to try and stem that flow of boundaries, stop them from materialising. Everyone on their toes, as you would imagine. And here is Franklin to complete the over. No thoughts of a single. That is over bowled. The Sparks 53 for 4. 123, of course, is the victory target. We've had 9 of the 11 overs. They need 70 to win.
It's a good over from Franklin. It has been a touch expensive in T20 cricket this season. It's gone for 8.1 and over, the highest economy rate of any Stars bowler, but that was right on the button. Just 4 singles from it. Will be interesting to see how Smith juggles her bowlers. This luxury of having so many all-rounders means that she's got plenty of options, but Danny Gregory's the obvious one from the pavilion end for now.
The director just showed us that ice cream van. We'll go there at the end of the innings, make no doubt about that. No chance of a single here. Gregory makes sure that Schofield is on the money there fielding.
So you'll get 3 more out of Gregory, and then that leaves 8 overs to go. You'd think Courtine Coleman would bowl out, and then Farrant's got a couple.
Yeah, Stonehouse as well is another option, of course, and she'll probably bowl more. Another dot there. Trying to join them up and put the pressure on Eve Jones. Jones, of course, very experienced, the skipper.
You have to find 2 overs between Stonehouse, Moore and Franklin, assuming that Farron, Gregory and Courtine Coleman bowl out.
Dunkley is another option as well. Oh, that's into the hand and out. Always a difficult catch. You could see Bryony diving for it. She got a hand on it, but it was in and out. Very difficult for the skipper. We might get the chance just to see that again. Frustration just etched across the face of Gregory, and you can understand why. She's back at the top of her mark and getting ready to bowl the next one. Out it goes to the fielder, Phoebe Franklin. And here it is, that chance, in and out it went. It was very difficult for the skipper, Bryony Smith.
Bryony Smith, who of course is one of a few now to be already signed up to play for Surrey next season.
Yep, the skipper was the first to carry on her long association with Surrey. And again, that's another good delivery to Jones. Jones wanted to give herself some room.
And in the week since we were last commentating on the South East Stars and their win at the Oval, there's been a few more that have signed up.
As Gregory continues, and driving down the ground is Jones. They'll take one.
Alexa Stonehouse, Alice Davidson Richards, Paige Schofield. Pretty handy trio of all-rounders. Have all put pen to paper to play for Surrey in 2025 under the new domestic model. 56 for 4 of 10 the score here. Of course, 8 counties, 8 regions I should say, becoming 8 counties. I know, chatting to Laura McLeod a fair bit, that there's a huge amount of work between her and Gavin Larson and others in terms of Central Sparks and then Warwickshire, of trying to get all of the infrastructure and details and logistics in place so that essentially for players, for the vast majority of the Sparks playing group, they can essentially take off one shirt and put on another. But it's not often quite as simple as that. A lot of work behind the scenes. Courtine Coleman is back and he's turned away out to square leg. So you'd expect Courtine Coleman will bowl 2 more here and bowl out with Gregory at the other end. That is quite a proposition for a batter to deal with. That straight to short fine leg from Jones, the anchor of this chase. So Courtine Coleman and Gregory would take Stars up to 14 overs gone. Gets herself in a slightly awkward position there, Jones. There's nothing to show for that one. Really tight nip and tuck run chase here. Down the track, meets the ball confidently at the pitch and gets 1, Jones. Some very purposeful fielding in front of us. Running around to her left to keep it to 1, keep that sense of pressure on. Field changes now with Webb facing up. McDonald Gay with that fielding. So that's hit hard, straight out to deep extra cover. 1 more.
A lot depends on the captain here. You just feel Eve Jones, the key wicket.
Does so often seem to be the case with Central Sparks. She's the foundation around which things are often built. It's out to long off for 1 more as the wind whips up here. We've had glimpses of sun today, but it would be slightly, I think, a tight over from Courtine Coleman comes to an end. 11 overs gone, 59 for 1, concedes just 3. It would be a slight bit of artistic license, methinks, to call it a beautiful summer's day, but it is it is a day that has sprinklings of summer, which is more than can be said for a lot of the UK cricket season thus far.
I think I would probably use the word pleasant. I don't think I'll go any more adventurous than pleasant.
Right. Gregory continuing from the pavilion end, posing all sorts of problems. Jane's using her feet as she does well against the spinners. Shy at the stumps. Had it hit, might have been tied. Body language of players suggests that she had made her ground. Would have been okay.
Good from Stonehouse in the field.
Gregory in again, slightly off the bottom of the bat. Tumbling stop from Smith at backward point. One more. Fielder once again has to adjust. Really good crowd building here at Canterbury. Plenty have been in right from the start as well. Worked straight to short mid-wicket by Jones, who has been key in various tight situations with the bat for Sparks so far this season. Think of that win by 3 wickets against the Diamonds in a rain-affected game back in late May. That will escape past Moore in the inner ring. Will trickle towards the boundary in front of us. It won't get there. Dunkley does the fielding. And it's the first 3 of the day. Understandably so, because it was a big chase for Dunkley coming round.
Yep, Dunkley did well to save a single there. As soon as it went under the body of Kalia Moore, it gave the opportunity to run to the boundary's edge, but saving one could be crucial in a low scorer.
Good partnership building between Webb and Jones. Don't need much of a partnership for it to be significant in a low-scoring game like this. Short, straight to deep extra cover from Webb, who gets 1. Webb, the Aussie, who's played for Tasmania and the Melbourne Renegades. He's a former AFL player as well. This is her first season with Sparks. Bit of flight on that one. Jones hits it to the right of mid-off. It's intelligent cricket from Jones. Knew that Stonehouse is a left-handed thrower, would have quite a job to do to try and run her out from there. So accumulation, the order of the day there from Sparks. They pick up 7 off Gregory's over. They'll be pretty content with that given the threat of her leg spin. 8 overs left and this game right in the balance. DLS at this stage says that Sparks would want to be on 76 and they're on 66, which would suggest the dial right now is just a touch in favour of the South East Stars.
But only just. It's the case of trying to pick up Eve Jones. If she can hold it together, the skipper, and find support from elsewhere. And in fairness, Courtney Webb is certainly offering it 12 from 13 at the other end. Jones, though, ticking along nicely. I think if she's there at the end or towards the closing overs, they've got a great, great chance.
Nice looking shot down the ground. Could be a rare boundary. It is. Jones so good in not just the V, but that very straight V, really. And the first ball for Rhiannon McDonald-Gay's spell is met by a crunching straight drive. 4 of the best.
Really was carpet drive, straight down the ground, hit with such force. You're never likely to cut that off.
McDonald-Gay looking for a response and fields well off her own bowling to keep it to 1. McDonald-Gay has picked up 3 wickets in 15 overs in this competition this season. Has gone at 6.8 and over. Bumper dug in. Nicely played out to a deep set mid-wicket for 1 more. This partnership is definitely becoming of real concern for the South East Stars. These two came together at 41 for 4 with 1 ball left in the 7th. So in 5 overs, they've added 26. It might not sound like a lot, but in the context of this game, it's useful. Nicely run down to short third. It gets past Gregory, and it will trickle away for 4. So it's a second boundary of the over, and this could be the big over that Sparks really needed. Both batters have hit a 4 in it now.
You need to be able to trust your bowlers, and you need to make sure they can deliver in these big moments. And frustration etched across the face of McDonald Gay. Nobody wants to make mistakes. Nobody wants to bowl deliveries where they don't necessarily need to be, but she's been put away on a couple of occasions, and it's just released a little bit of pressure on the Sparks.
It's another bumper. That will be a no ball.
And there's the frustration.
McDonald Gay's just got to recompose herself here, because one really big over can completely change the context of this match. This is testing moments for the youngster.
Bryony Smith asking her to reset there, and you can understand why.
McDonald Gay, who only turned 20 in February. Slow ball. Will be 1-2 long on. Stonehouse does the fielding. McDonald Gay, big part of that England under-19 World Cup side that had such an epic campaign last year. Born in Maidstone in Kent, so very much a local to these parts. Can she get out of this over without too much further damage? Slow ball. She can get out of the over with a dot, but the over has nonetheless still been an expensive one in the context of this game. It goes for 11, and that kicks Sparks up to 77. So we are even Steven in terms of runs scored. The thing Stars had in their favour was that after 13 overs, they'd only lost 2 wickets. Of course, they lost a huge clump of them at the back end of the innings. It is a really tight contest here. DLS has got Sparks 4 runs behind where they need to be. Of course, it's not going to intervene. We've got no sign of rain at all, but it's always useful as a guide. As we see, good crowd here at Canterbury. Lovely place for it as well.
46 from 42, Michael. All of the time they can keep wickets in hand, they'll win it.
Gregory continuing. It's just nibbled away out to deep backward square leg for 1 more.
It's always a tricky one for Bryony Smith, because you want to try and keep some bowlers up your sleeve for the end of the innings, but you need to make sure you use them in the context of the game. You can't afford for them to just milk you, the Central Sparks.
Yeah, the longer it goes on and they can keep this required run rate hovering around a run a ball, the more they'll back themselves to see it home, Sparks.
Wicket is needed, and quickly.
These two have added 37. They've almost doubled the score from when they came together at 41 for 4. Low full toss, flicked way out to deep. Backward square leg, and they scamper back for 2. It looked tight, and they do just about make it home. Nice hustle from Eve Jones. He might be initially frustrated to have not deposited the full toss to the boundary.
Well, it's great running, in fairness, because Tash Farron is a very good fielder. She had to make distance away to her left-hand side, and that made it easier to turn 1 into 2, but you've still got to make sure you race back. Well played to the skipper there.
It's another full toss, and again Jones will be really disappointed in herself to have missed out on it. So 2 full tosses in a row, and they've only conceded 3 on Kalia Moore's figures. It's important, interesting to me here that Courtney Coleman and Gregory have not been deployed. Extra cover drive, almost pierces the gap, but not quite. Bryony Smith gets round to her left and ensures no further run. No run added off that one, I should say. No further addition to the score. Blocked back by Jones. So 1 ball left of this over. And then there'll be 6 left. 2 will definitely be bowled by Farron. 1 will surely be bowled by Courtine Coleman and 1 by Gregory, which leaves a couple more to find elsewhere. 3rd full toss of the over for Moore. This one goes out to long on for 1. Webb wanted 2, but it wasn't there. Webb and Jones might be a bit frustrated there. That's an over with 3 full tosses in it, but it's only gone for 6. So 83 for 4 off 14. And this pair building very nicely.
Indeed, yep. You look at the balls left, 36 of them, 40 runs to win. It's going to be a real dramatic end to this. You just get the feeling, and it's starting to really build up at the Spitfire Ground, St Lawrence. There's a little wide-angle shot of everybody enjoying the cricket. We've got the Kent Spitfires in action later today. Middlesex are their opponents, and after such a good start, the team will be hoping that they continue that dominance in that competition, the Vitality Blast. Work to do here, though, and it is an opportunity for Phoebe Franklin.
Key over this. Franklin back on into the pads with Hill up to the stumps. So I mentioned they've got to find 2 overs from a variety of bowlers if one was to assume that Farron, Courtine Coleman and Gregory bowl out. The question is, does Stonehouse come back? Went for 10 off her only over up top. For now, it will be Franklin. She got well in her first, which conceded just 4. Hit hard down the ground out to Stonehouse at long on for 1. Worth bringing you up to date with a key result elsewhere. At Bristol, Southern Vipers have won by 18 runs against the Western Storm. So that takes the Vipers onto 4 wins from 7 now. It closes the gap, Stars will hope, temporarily between them and the Stars. Vipers move on to 17 points. Stars have 25. Georgia Adams with about half century for the Vipers, 55. Lauren Filer took 3 for 8. This is Franklin again, slightly shorter, almost takes out a batting partner, Jones. He had to show quick reactions to get out the way. 1 more to Webb. Heather Knight, the England captain, always pretty handy to call on in a domestic setting with 69 off 56. Nobody else, apart from Sophie Luff, got into double figures. Luff made 12. Western Storm bowled out for 119. Opens her shoulders again. Jones hitting it hard out to long on for 1. 3 for 24 for the England offie Charlie Dean. Georgia Adams with her off breaks, ever dependable, took 3 for 23. Lindsay Smith with 2 for 16 up top as well, bowling well. So spin very much doing the trick in that one, which is done and dusted. Out for extra cover. They'll think of 2, they'll take it on. And they will get there. It's good running, which particularly on that side of the ground with a bigger, longer boundary is really important.
Well, they call bowler, but Eve Jones is very quick, the captain, between the sticks. Raced that first one, knew that she needed to get back. She did get back. And this partnership, as it continues to develop, is putting pressure on the Stars bowlers. They need a wicket here.
Flat batted out to deep cover for 1 more. This is good, sensible cricket from Jones and Webb, who pick up 6 more off that over. They are 4 behind where the Stars were at this stage, but remember, Stars struggled to get momentum at the back end of the innings and lost that clatter of wickets, 6 wickets falling in the last 5 overs, and they added just 29 at under a run a ball. So just a moment for Jones and Webb to reset, grab a drink. They have added an unbroken 48 for the 5th wicket.
Well, this is a huge, huge over. Kalia Moore is going to bowl it from the pavilion end. And with 5 to go, she needs to make sure that it's economical, because you look down, 34 to win, 30 balls in which to chase them down. The Sparks are well set here. Here is more to start, elevated, and it might run away down the hill. Schofield will give it chase, but she's not going to stop it running away for a boundary. And there is the 50 partnership between these two. Webb has 27 of the 52 that they've put on, and it shows her contribution. Moore has the ball back in hand. Schofield has fed it back to her, and we need a good response. What can she provide here? The spin bowler. Push down the track to the longest part of the ground. Two fielders will converge. The second isn't there. There would have been a run-out opportunity. That was fizzed in with no great accuracy, but it came out the hand very, very quickly, and that's very impressive from Franklin.
So 4 overs after this one, you would think surely Courtine Coleman will bowl out. 2 from Farron, maybe 1 from Franklin.
Yep. This was always going to be the over that could prove to be decisive. It started with a boundary, but there's been a couple of good responses from Moore. They wanted to come back for the second. Again, it wasn't really on. Stonehouse backing up because it went past Moore's reach. She's holding her nerve nicely here. She went for the boundary. She's come back with 2 singles. They've picked up 6 so far. A couple of dots needed by the Stars. Webb on strike, 28 from 23, ticking nicely. What can Moore do here? Driving down the ground. She'll pick up a single, and it brings the skipper back onto strike. Jones has 38 from 43. More changes in the field with that left-right hand combination. Bryony Smith just making sure that she's keeping the fielders on the money, making sure that they do the business here. As driving down the ground, they'll take one. Schofield's arm is a strong one. They wanted to try and turn and come back. It's not on. And they only pick up a single, but it's still been more than they need here. They've picked up 8 so far from the 5 balls that have been bowled. Moore needs to make sure that she finishes the over strongly here. And here she is, driving the ball down the ground. It's going to be at least a couple, you would think. They will come back for 2. Fizzed in by Farron, and they do pick up 2 more. So that's a very purposeful over if you are following the Central Sparks. 1 away from the 100. They need 24 to win, and they've got 24 balls in which to chase them down.
So this pair have added 58 off 55, which by the positively high progressive standards of modern cricket, you might think is somewhat sedate for a T20, but in the context of this low-scoring game, has been absolutely pivotal. Remember what's at stake, of course. If Stars win, they will have their qualification spot for finals day at Derby on Saturday the 22nd of June booked, with 3 games to spare. Those games left at home against the Sunrisers at the Oval next Saturday the 15th of June. Do come down for that one. And then away the very next day against the Blaze on Sunday the 16th, and away against the Vipers on Wednesday the 19th. Those Stars remaining games. As for Sparks, they've got Thunder on Friday the 14th, Vipers on Sunday the 16th, and then finish up against the Blaze on Wednesday the 19th. But for now, we've got a thriller of a game on our hands. And Courtine Coleman, as expected, will come back 2 for 11 off her 3. Got Amy Campbell and Davina Perrin, both openers out much earlier on in the piece.
Yep, she's going to finish her set here. What has she got? She just drags one into the surface. You could see that Jones wanted to try and come down the track, give herself a little bit of room, and the bowler spotted it. Very good. Let's not forget she's only 16, but she's a big match player, and she's on her way again. A much slower delivery, but it's picked by the batter this time. Drilled down the ground to Rhiannon McDonald-Gay, who's quickly on her bike. And there is the 100 coming up for the Sparks in the 17th over. Confirmation of that on the big screen. Sparks bringing it up after 16.2. What has Courtine Coleman got here? She's going to go the other side of the wicket. Oh, and she's picked up a key wicket. And you have to say, Webb has been completely deceived there. She's on her way back for 31. She's been bowled by Courtine Coleman, and that could be a big, big wicket. We mentioned that the big players have the answers, and Courtine Coleman, despite being so young, has delivered here and delivered in style.
Well, Webb has to go for a very well-made 31 off 26, but just as Sparks were wrestling the momentum, came down the pitch and couldn't resist trying to crash it into the onside. It's an excellent partnership for the 5th wicket that has added 59 between Webb and Jones, but it's done now, and there is Emily Arlott out to bat. Arlott, who's got long levers, can really wield the willow, but comes out in a real pressure moment in this run chase.
Well, Arlott has been good so far. She picked up the hat-trick, of course, when the Sparks were in the field, but suddenly the pressure is on. She comes out and she just needs to make sure she plays to her captain, who's 40 from 46. Jones seeing it very nicely. If they could pick up the wicket of Jones, can the Stars get out of this with a win and reach finals day? Courtine Coleman to continue. What has she got here? This one just worked away backward a square on the leg side. They'll take a single. Arlott quickly gets off the mark. First time of asking. Brings Jones back on. 2 balls to go in the over. It's only gone for 2 so far, and crucially the wicket. But this is the last one of Courtine Coleman's set. All of the fielders need to make sure that they're in their right positions and on the money as Courtine Coleman continues. It's a quicker one, just dragged into the surface, hit to extra cover. Schofield does the fielding. Another dot. This is a great over so far, still 1 to go. And how could she get out of the over? The answer is an explosive shot down the ground, straight into the arms of Stonehouse, who drops it. A big, big opportunity that. Jones, the captain, has been dropped.
Wow. That really is the kind of moment that can define a match. Jones gets a life on 40, dropped by Stonehouse off Courtine Coleman. Had that been taken, then in the last 3 overs, Sparks would need 2 batters fresh at the crease to see them home. And regardless of the catch not being taken, all credit should go to Tilly Courtine Coleman, who again is showing her excellence. The 16-year-old has put together a magnificent spell there, bowling at the top. 2 at the top, 1 in the middle, and then 1 at the death. She finishes with exceptional figures. 3 for 14 from her 4.
And do you know what impresses me the most? She instantly went to Alexa Stonehouse and said, look, these things happen, which they do. Nobody wants to put down a catch. Everybody wants to make sure that they play a positive part. It doesn't always work. It doesn't always come out. Wasp is at 78%. DLS says 107. Sparks have lost 5 wickets, but they've got a batter seeing it nicely in Jones, who's on strike. 21 needed. 18 balls in which to get them. What are we going to see here? Just worked into the covers. Tash Farrant is back. She will bowl out from that far end, which means that we just need to try and fiddle an over. Can't help thinking maybe Phoebe Franklin will be the answer at this Nackington Road end. It's going to be the crucial over, this penultimate one, because we know what good control Farrant has got so far. She started with a dot. What has she got here? Drilled down the ground, clubbed. And they'll pick up just 1. And it means that Arlott will come back onto strike. Jones, 42 from 50, picks up that single. And Arlott will need to take a guard here. It will be the first delivery that she's faced from the pavilion end. Tash Farrant making sure that the bowlers are exactly where they need to be. Sophia Dunkley just coming up into the circle, trying to put the pressure on the new batter, who's 1 from 1. And facing up to Farrant, who runs past the umpire, and this is going to be cut away, using the outside edge and picking up 4 runs, and that is huge. That could really prove to be pivotal in the outcome of this game. Gregory, no chance of stopping it, and we've said it before, the quicker they come, the quicker they go. It might not have been orthodox, but it's effective.
I'm not sure Arlott was looking to do that, to be honest.
He certainly wasn't.
Definitely wasn't looking to get it anywhere near that fine. Sliced off the outside edge.
Yeah, bonus runs, but they all count. And the most important thing is it puts the Sparks 4 runs closer to victory. Driving down the ground is Charlotte. She takes one, thinks about turning. It's not on the second. Good fielding with the pressure on.
15 to win off 14.
It's going to be edge of the seat stuff. Make no doubt about that. A low-scoring thriller here at the Spitfire Ground, St Lawrence. If you are with us on the Kent Cricket YouTube channel watching the live stream, great to have you. And here is Tash Farrant continuing. Drilled to extra cover, no single, surely they do race through. Set deep, in fairness, Gregory.
Yeah, first priority, of course, to tumble, make sure the stop's made. 14 to win off 13.
Yeah, Franklin was the fielder and she did just that. Farrant now has the ball in hand. 7 so far from 5, a dot ball here. And suddenly the pressure is back on the batting side. If they can pick up a purposeful scoring shot. Going to be through, they've pierced the gap, and that is massive in the context of this game. The 2 boundaries in that Farrant over hands the incentive to Central Sparks. They are now in the ascendancy, you have to think. 2 overs to go. They've got to get rid of Jones, and Arla has got off to such a positive start, 10 from 4. What a contribution this has been. What a hand she's played alongside her skipper. There's 12 balls to go, only 10 required.
And be in no doubt as to the significance of this result if Sparks could pull it off, because in 11 completed games of cricket this season, they've only lost twice, South East Stars, and both of those were in the 50-over format.
Rhiannon McDonald-Gay is going to bowl this crucial penultimate over.
Interesting, there was plenty of options. Probably decided didn't want to go back to spin at this stage, Bryony Smith. So once you've done that, it's a choice between Franklin, McDonald-Gay, and then Stonehouse. McDonald-Gay has conceded 11 from her own the over so far. Stonehouse has conceded 10 from hers. Franklin's gone for 10 off 2. But it is McDonald-Gay who gets the nod in a precious situation.
Paige Schofield right in front of us at long off. Rhiannon McDonald-Gay moving everybody around along with Bryony Smith, the captain. You need to make sure you got your best fielders in the most crucial spots. 12 balls to go, 10 runs required. What can McDonald-Gay do here? Driving down the ground, Schofield could be in the game. She is in the game, and that's a brilliant catch. Judging it perfectly, and Jones has finally gone for 43. It's been an excellent knock from the captain, but could the momentum swing in this game once more? The Stars never know when they're beaten, and Schofield has picked up a great catch there. McDonald-Gay was the right choice. What a wicket.
So 10 to win off 11, but now Jones, who got that reprieve, dropped by Stonehouse off Courtine Coleman on 40. Just 3 runs later is gone for a very impressive 43 or 52. Not entirely dissimilar to the half-century that Dunkley struck in the first innings. Obviously, very aware that Jones didn't quite get to the milestone, but in the point of being the player that holds the innings together. And so now, Caris Pavley joins Arlott. Pavley, who's so far in T20 cricket this season has a best of 27 not out, coming against Thunder. My goodness me, they don't need 27 here. They give everything just for 10, Sparks, but 10 sometimes can feel like a lot of runs.
Well, the good news is at the moment Arlott is off strike, and that is encouraging to see. They want to bowl at Pavley, the new batter. 113 for 6 is the score, 10 needed, 11 to go, and it races past the outside edge. Dear, 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 this game has swung again. We've seen it all so far. Another dot ball makes it 10 from 10. This has been very good with the pressure on from McDonald-Gay.
Back to a runner ball.
Indeed it is. James Treadwell, the umpire, just looks on. Here is McDonald-Gay racing past him. It's a slower ball and she's bowled. Would you believe it? Pavley has gone. The first one raced past the outside edge. Now McDonald Gay has picked up a wicket. We wondered who would bowl this crucial over. Would it be Franklin? Would it be McDonald Gay? With 2 wickets in 3 balls, it's been quite wonderful. Look at that on the big screen. Rihanna McDonald Gay coming to the party, and in some style.
McDonald Gay, born in Maidstone. What this will mean to her, a local of Kent, here at Canterbury with a big crowd in for this double header, bowling a crucial over and may be turning this game back in favour of the South East Stars and sealing qualifications. Still a lot of work to do. Well, that replay just confirms that essentially Pavley's gone back there to one that she'd have been better coming forward to. Maybe kept a touch slow as well. Now here's Georgia Davis.
Yeah, caught in 2 minds, wasn't she, the batter? And when you get that little bit of indecision, it often doesn't end well. Will it end well here for the Central Sparks, or can the South East Stars do the business with the pressure on? A good crowd in position as McDonald Gay bowls the next one, and it traps into the pads. They think about racing through for a single. It's not there. This has been very, very good from Rihanna McDonald Gay. 2 wickets, 2 dot balls, and all of the pressure is on the Central Sparks. And all Emily Arlott can do at the non-striker's end is look on. She's 10 from 4, don't forget. She's ticking nicely, but she can only look on as McDonald Gay bowls a slower one out the back of the hand, drilled down the ground. Schofield in pursuit. They take 1, that's all they're going to get. Good fielding once more from the Stars.
So 7 balls left, 9 to win. Incredible clutch over this.
Yep.
2 wickets taken, just a run conceded from the 20-year-old. Splendid stuff.
We mentioned about Bryony Smith having those big match players. She's got to get out of the over well. She bowls a quicker one, which is just turned away to Tilly Courtine-Coleman. They race through for a single. So you have to say that's a quite brilliant over from Rihanna McDonald Gay. Wait for her teammates to come and celebrate with her. There's still plenty of work to do. You can't say that anything more than a good over at this stage, but the pressure is well and truly on the Sparks. They need 8 for victory. There's 6 balls to go. Tash Farrant needs to hold her nerve.
Worth mentioning as well that this is, of course, a league fixture. So we can have a tie. We don't have to have a winner on the day. The points can be shared. And as odd as it seems to be saying this, not a phrase I necessarily thought I'd be saying at the start of the day, a tie based on results elsewhere between Sunrisers and Thunder would likely also be enough to take Stars through. A win would definitely confirm their spot at finals day with 3 games to spare. Last over, 8 to win.
Well, the South East Stars have been quite brilliant so far. Arla had that hat-trick with the ball. What can she do here with the bat? She's got the long levers. She can hit a long ball. And she's facing up to Tash Farrant. Drills the ball down the ground. It's going to be worth at least a couple. Can they stop it going out over the boundary's edge? No is the answer. So suddenly the pressure goes back onto the fielding side. And Arlott has picked out a gem there to pick up a boundary first up.
She's always very powerful down the ground, Emily Arlott. They needed a boundary in this over at some point. They've got it early. And, well, Smith has a dilemma. Does she bring players up? Because now, if Sparks can just put bat on ball for all of the remaining 5, they should have enough to see it home.
I think you've got to keep long off and long on back here, and that's exactly what Bryony Smith is going to do. Farrant needs to have a good response here. It's a bouncer, and it's going to be hit away. There's bat on it. 4 more runs. And would you believe it? They're getting so close here to victory.
That's it.
In fact, that is it. Would you believe it? They've done it. They've won it. And that's so hard to take, because you wondered at the stage whether there would be a purposeful end. Tash Farrant, with all of her experience, hasn't been able to pick anything up here, and they've won it in heartbreaking fashion. The Sparks register victory by 3 wickets. Well played to them. It's been an excellent hand from Arlott. 19 from 7 with the bat to go with a hat-trick with the ball. What a performance from the all-rounder. Very impressive. And it is Central Sparks who taste victory in this doubleheader.
Well, all credit goes to Emily Arlott. It will be remembered as a game where her all-round brilliance made the difference. disciplined bowling and fielding effort from the Central Sparks, but it became clear when both teams had batted on it just what a tough pitch this could be to score on. The pressure of run chase making a difference. An important fifth wicket stand between Webb and Jones to recover Central Sparks from the wreckage of 41 for 4. They added 59 for the fifth, but then another mini collapse left them in all sorts of peril. But that is quite the finisher's knock. 19 off just 7 balls for Emily Arlott, 4 boundaries on a day where everyone was finding it pretty tricky to hit them. Arlott with comfortably the highest strike rate of any batter in the match on either side, and the 4 for 21 with the ball. She rightly takes the plaudits. Sparks have avoided a 4th consecutive loss to get their campaign back up and running. And it's not the best day for the South East Stars overall. They knew that victory would secure qualification for finals day, but actually, as it turns out, they've lost this narrow one by 3 wickets with 4 balls to spare, and the 2 teams just below them, the Southern Vipers and the Central Sparks, have both run. Remember that the Lancashire Thunder are facing the Sunrisers right now in 5th against 6th as the day started. But for now, the South East Stars have got to pick themselves back up. But this is a team under Bryony Smith that have played a lot of excellent cricket this season. Remember that they have, even with this defeat, now lost just 3 of their 12 completed matches across the campaign. And it's their first loss in the T20s, a washout and 5 victories. So as long as they can pick up some points in one of their 3 remaining games, should have more than enough gas in the tank to be making finals day, where of course in 13 days time will be 1st versus 4th and 2nd versus 3rd, and then the final at Derby on the 22nd at 2. All of that to look forward to. Remember that you can still get your tickets to come and watch the Stars at the Oval next up against the Sunrisers on Saturday the 15th of June, and then away games against the Blaze and Vipers to complete the T20 campaign. But Stars will hope that by then qualification would already be secured. But for now, we're just basking in the glory of a thrilling game of cricket. Not quite the result the Stars would have wanted, but in terms of the crowd being entertained and a perfect first half of this doubleheader, it doesn't get too much better than that.
No, it really doesn't, Michael. It was a great game of cricket to watch, and it swung one way, then the other. There were plenty of ebbs and flows, and that's exactly what you want to see. You want to make sure that they're close contests. You don't want bat-dominating ball or vice versa. We've got the Kent all-rounder Joe Denley in front of us, who scored plenty of runs for Kent down the years, and he'll have an opportunity to play against the side that he did represent earlier in his career, Middlesex. That game gets underway at 3:30 here at the Spitfire Ground, St Lawrence here in Canterbury. But it's been absolutely fantastic. It really has. It's been a game that we've really enjoyed. We've got lots to look forward to with that second game to come from 3:30. But from myself, Jamie Reid, and Michael McCann alongside, I'm forgetting who I am. It's been quite the game, it really has. And there's plenty to come still from the Stars, Michael, because we've mentioned the first defeat here, but they've still got plenty of an opportunity to make sure they finish this competition strongly and to get to finals day at Derby.
Yeah, they should be well placed to do so, and we look forward to you joining us on the journey. Next up for Stars, they're at the Oval on Saturday the 15th of June. But for now, from Jamie Reid and yours truly, Michael McCann, it's goodbye.
Bye for now.